Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here, and it's Tuesday, and we're doing another Tuesday. The season starts. We got a few days off before we get the season, so we're going to do trivia today before the season starts. And it's PhD level once again. This is 2 weeks in a row where we've done Raptor Freak Tuesday trivia, where the questions are hard, y'all. They're like expert level questions. You know, we've progressed over the 4 years of this channel from basic Raptors trivia to like hardcore levels of PhD type levels of trivia at this point. This stuff is not easy. And when I wrote this trivia yesterday, I'm like, man, are you being too hard on them? I'm like, no, we're going to do this the way we're going to do this. And the Raptor Freaks, I believe in them and their knowledge and how much they know. So, yeah, I believe in y'all. I think y'all will do a good job on this trivia, regardless of it being one of the hardest trivias I've ever written. So yeah, tomorrow's the season opener of the Raptors season. So our trivia today is on season openers. So we're going to have to see how much people remember about the 30 years of Raptors history and what they know about season openers. So yeah, Nako's saying trivia. Yeah, I love it. And Superfan Mo is with us this morning. I love that. Mo, always a joy to have you live on the show. And I appreciate you being here. I hope you're doing very well. And yeah, what a fantastic week. All kinds of stuff going on right now. Of course, we're going to talk about the Blue Jays today. But yeah, thank you, Gerald, for giving me the heads up on the audio. Sometimes I need an audio test right off the bat. So if there's anybody, when I first go on, please check with me because I might be asking you guys, whoa, hey, can you hear me? And Gerald seems to be one of the fastest ones to check that for me. And I appreciate you for it, Gerald. I do. Ahmed's back, guys. Good to see Ahmed Gaming. Hello, everyone. Sorry I haven't been here for the past few days. Been really busy with schoolwork. Then I have been sick since Wednesday, but I'm ready for trivia. Okay. Well, we may need you for sure because this is very hard trivia. Also, I want to remind everybody who's in our Yahoo Fantasy NBA League, there are games tonight for the NBA tonight, 2 games. And you need to get your roster set because we are beginning our fantasy NBA league tonight. So you may have players that are playing. So check your fantasy team on it and get ready for the season. Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam. And I hear you now. Can you hear me now? It's just like that old commercial with the phone. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm even wearing the glasses like the guy. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? He's like walking over by a lake or something like. Can you hear me now? Let's see. Ahmed saying he's got his team ready and set. Raptors Champs is here this morning. Good morning, Raptor Freaks and Champs. Yes, Raptors Champs 2019. That's right. Let's go get number 2. I'm thinking if the Blue Jays win the World Series, the Raptors are going to have to go get their second championship very shortly after that. That's right. We got to do that. Raptors Champs. Always a joy to have you in the chat, man. Let's see. Most and your thoughts on Sandy B for tempo job. I don't want to do any before. Save your questions for after the trivia. We're going to start the trivia right now. I'll talk about this. I kind of went over this yesterday. I think I did on the stream. I did go over the coaches search for WNBA. It was either yesterday or Sunday. I talked about who they were looking at. And my top 3 choices are Sandy, James Wade, and Jenny Busick. But I think Sandy is the best person for the job. That's just my short answer there, Mo. I like her for the job because she brings 2 championships from 2 different teams. And, she just got put out of New York and she was successful there, but it's just kind of like, you didn't make it this year, then you got to go. So she's the kind of person we want here because she's bona fide. But the thing is, she's getting chased by a couple different WNBA teams to be hired. And it may be that she's not interested in our job as much as she's interested in another job because it's an established WNBA team may have more of a chance to win right away than us. And she may not be all about trying to be the first head coach of the Toronto Tempo. So I don't know what it is. Yeah. Let's see. Isaac's got me on blast, the starting 5. And Randolph's here. NBA opening season blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. People who avoid failure also avoid success. It's better to try and fail than fail to try. Yeah, I mean, this is all different for everybody. I mean, seriously. I think that in some ways we're conditioned and programmed by society to try and go do this and this because there's nefarious reasons. So let's say this. You don't have to try if you don't want to. If you want to stay at home and do nothing, you're welcome to do that. I think that there's a lot of forces out there that try and light a fire under people's asses and this and that. But I think that the message is saying, no, you don't have to go all out and do anything. You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's just a conditioning of a capitalist system that puts this kind of stuff in our heads. So I don't totally agree with these words of wisdom. Either Trevor's from before or this one here. Because listen, that's conditioning that they taught us in school. And in some ways, it's not totally true. Some people are meant to go out and do that, yes, but we're all different. And there's some human designs and there's some people out here that aren't supposed to do that. And you make them feel bad if they don't have more anxious to go out and do more in the world. Because some people are not destined to do that. Some people are not supposed to do that. And they're supposed to just be who they are. And sometimes they're supposed to just, exist like a mushroom or a tree in the forest. And it's not about going out and getting more or pushing yourself or getting out of your comfort zone. Sometimes you're just supposed to be exactly who you are. And we can't keep saying one size fits all for attitudes on what people are supposed to be achieving and doing in their lives. This is where we get in trouble. All due respect, guys. I like your words of wisdom, and I'm not totally disagreeing with you, but there's no cookie cutter one fits all answer on this kind of sentiment. Some people are not supposed to do anything. Some people can't because they're disabled. And some people can't do this and this. So we can't go on and say that this is what you're supposed to do with your life. Everybody's different, and there's not one solution for everyone. So that's what I say right there. Yeah, Trevor, I'm sorry. I didn't have audio, so I had to close the other stream. Because it was not working. All right, let's get in there. No more comments. We want to get in there and do this. You guys are setting me up. Amit said, I've done my 10 minutes of research, and I think I'm ready. When it comes to my memory of basketball facts, I'm great at it. See, this is why I want to get in the trivia fast, because this guy is he's really getting into like studying things. Blessings to Phyllis family, all the Raptor Freak families, by the way. Yeah, he will cram for the test right before it. Adriana is here. Good to see the commissioner of trivia is here to reside over it. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. So we said, man, I can't believe the Blue Jays actually did it. Wow, you revel in this. You enjoy this, Reggie. We'll definitely talk about this more after the trivia. Superfan saying, I haven't been able to comment, Lex. This is why. Thanks, Lex. Thanks. I didn't know you couldn't comment. You couldn't comment on the stream, but you've been here? That's weird. That shouldn't be right. Whatever the issue is, we want to fix it. For sure. Yeah, let's see. Also, he's saying in the World Series, to understand how likely this was, this team won 74 games last year. Yeah, nobody picked them to do this. And in some ways, this path of the Blue Jays this year, I want to see the Raptors go on this kind of path this year too. There's nobody would pick the Raptors to go far in the playoffs. But what if they do? What if they do go all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals? Because the East is just like that. It's amazing. Yeah, Naka's right. RJ saying, Lex, we all serve a purpose that requires us to try and get it done. The size and scope is not the issue. Okay, that's because I feel like we've got to understand there's a lot of forces out there that are trying to antagonize us to be active and do things in the workforce to be, used by people that are running corporations. In some ways, they need to light fires under people's asses. And that's why there's all kinds of things in this different ways, because they need the people to exploit them in the workforce. So I in the words of wisdom, I would say this: do what you need to do to get by, but don't ever feel sad if you don't do more because people tell you should. And people that are always can't just sit still and just enjoy relaxing, and they always feel like they have to do something, they've been programmed in the wrong way because they are not able to enjoy their lives. So that's kind of what I mean with that, man. Even the disabled have their own way of trial and failure. Yeah. No, I get that. And there's different areas and different ways to do it. But also realize that's programming and conditioning that in some ways is useless in this life. And everybody should just exist. It's not about all this bullshit that we made up. And in some ways, people should allow to just exist if they need to. And if we can't exist monetarily because the system is too expensive, well, something's wrong with the system, is what I'll say right there. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's do this. Adrian is right. I want to get this done. This is hard trivia, and it may take a little while, is what I'm saying. So, all right, we got a lot of people here. Let's go ahead and do question number 1, guys. What was the attendance at the first ever Raptors season opening game at Skydome? That's what the picture is today on the stream. You see the picture at Skydome? We see a very happy situation there yesterday with the Blue Jays winning. And well, the first Raptors game was there. Like, yeah, what's the attendance? 16,000. That's too low. That is too low. Yeah, it's really, really crazy. I mean, it makes sense. 10,000, way too low. 33,000. See, Amit, did you go look that up right now, or you just did? Nah, see, I don't know. You crammed this kind of shit. You went and looked that up because there's no way you got it right on the nose with the first guess. I'm serious, man. I don't want you to do this, man. I don't want you to cram. No, Slug DZ went and put the exact number in. So he did Google it. I'm giving it to Amit Gaming, but I'm warning you guys. I do not want y'all to Google. I want y'all to try and do this off the top of your head. I want you to do this at the top of your head. Yes, it was 33,006 people. Slug Deezy's got it exactly right. And that tells me he exactly did Google it. So, yeah, I don't want to do that. Milbester, you have to wait, bro. You have to wait, man. We're doing trivia. We're not doing any other subjects other than trivia right now. Yeah, 48,000 would be awesome, Raptors champs. I mean, that arena holds a lot of people. But, yeah, 33,000. If you think about it, we only have 19,000 in the Scotiabank Arena. So we had the first ever Raptors game had 33,000 people at it. That's a huge crowd for a basketball game. That's a huge crowd. You didn't Google it? Well, you did pre-research. How the hell would you get it on the nose? You could have said 30,000. You could have said 40,000. You could have said 35,000, but you said 33,000 right on the nose. That's sus, man. So you just remembered it. You went and looked it up. That's just sus, bro. That's why I don't want y'all to do that. I want y'all to go off your regular knowledge. All right, next question, guys. Question number 2. All right, Scott Foster refereed a Raptors season opening game win. They won the game in 1999 against what team? Scott Foster was one of our referees in our season opener in 1999, and we won the game. What was the team we beat there? Yeah. Milbester, I'm not reading any of your comments till trivia's over, man. So don't even write it. Put the full name answer. Houston is not right. Washington Wizards is not right. Cleveland Cavaliers is not right. Full name answer. Full name answer, guys. You guys are writing in just cities. Boston Celtics is right. Naco Nacho got it. I'm sorry. We do full name answer. I know that there's not more than one team, but we do first and last name, and that's included for the teams because we do have Charlotte Hornets. We do have Charlotte Bobcats. We do have New Orleans Pelicans. We do have New Orleans Hornets. So, yeah, unfortunately, Raptors champ, we do new full name answers. And that includes with team names. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. Even though I know that's the only team that's ever been in the league for Boston. It's just the rules we've been doing for a long time. All right, question number 3, guys. Who was the Raptors' leading scorer in the season opener win over Jordan and the Wizards in 2002? The Raptors opened the season against Michael Jordan and the Washington Wizards in 2002. Who was the leading scorer for the Raptors that night in the game against the Wizards? Take guesses off the top of your heads. Damon Stoudemire. That's a good guess, but it's wrong. It's not Damon Stoudemire. He was gone already. Vince Carter is a great guess, but it's not right. Jalen Rose is not right. It was too soon before Jalen Rose and too far after Damon Stoudemire. Vince is not right, guys. It's the logical guess would be Vince Carter. Tracy McGrady's not right either. Marcus Camby is not right. This guy got 20 points in the game, and he was the leading scorer for the Raptors. This was a really low-scoring game. The Wizards only scored like 60 points in the game. Chris Bosh, nope, this is way before Chris Bosh, guys. The year is 2002, guys. It's 2002. Alvin Williams is not right, but that's a good guess. That could have been the answer. Valquez, no, it's not Grevis. Grevis is like 10 years after this. Terrence Ross is not right. Terrence Ross is way after this. These are way late. You got to think about what's 2002 Raptors. Vince Carter is a good guess, and Antonio Davis is a good guess. It's not right. Alvin Williams is a good guess. It's not right. Donyell Marshall's not right. That's too late. Walt Williams is a good guess, but not right. Muggsy Bogues is a good guess, but not right. Rafer Alston's 2 after that. It's not right. Yeah, this is good. I think, yeah, there you go. Amit got it. It's Morris. Morris got 20 points and led the Raptors against the Wizards in that preseason game. It was Morris Peterson that got the answer. Yeah, Amit got this one. All right, cool. Next question, guys. In 2003, what 2 Raptors scored 50 combined points in the season opener win over the New Jersey Nets? In 2003, what 2 Raptors combined to score 50 in the season opener against the New Jersey Nets? Yeah, I'm going to talk about all this afterwards, Monique. We're doing trivia first. Trivia is always first on Tuesday. We ain't doing nothing else other than trivia right now because Amit's here, and we can't fuck around and wait to do trivia. He's going to study the whole NBA before we get there. So I'm just saying, Rafer was on that team. It was his first stint with the Raptors. Yeah, I mean, for like a brief second, and he didn't ever lead the team in scoring around then. Vince Carter and Alvin Williams, Nako, that's half right. You got it half right. Jose and TJ's not right. Antonio Davis, nope. Vince Carter is one of the names. Vince Carter is one of the names. Whoever gives me the combination that's exactly right will get the answer. So I want 2 names on every answer. So make sure you're writing in 2 names. If you only have one name, I'm not going to tell you got it right. Vince Carter is one of the names. So you got that. Mo Pete, Rafer Alston? No. Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady? No. No, this is an interesting one. In 2003, two Raptors combined to score 50 points in the season opening win over the New Jersey Nets. Who were the two Raptors? Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady? Nope. Vince Carter and Muggsy Bogues? Nope. Nope. This one's hard, man. Yeah, I know I'm being tough. This is PhD level, and I'm ornery. I'm ornery. I know. Adrian is like, the commissioner's like, hold back. Maybe I should let you do it. There you go. Nako got it. It's Chris Bosh and Vince Carter. That was a rookie Chris Bosh who came out there and combined Vince Carter to get 50 points against the New Jersey Nets in the season opener and win over the in 2003. Yeah, there you go. All right, next question, guys. This happened again in 2004. Vince Carter and the Bosh and the Raptors beat which former Raptor and his team in the season opener in 2004. So the next year, Vince and Chris Bosh beat another team in the season opener. What was the player, former Raptor, and his team that they beat in the season opener in 2004? Yeah. Damon Stoudemire and the Orlando Magic? No, Stoudemire never played for the Magic. McGrady played for the Magic, but that's not that's not that. Hakeem Olajuwon is not the answer, but he may have the right team. I don't know. This is something that maybe you guys are both half right in a weird kind of way. Yeah, what former Raptor and his team did the Raptors beat in their season opener in 2004? Yeah, the year 2004. We used 2004, 2005. Yeah, Ahmet got it. It's Tracy McGrady and the Rockets is right. He logicked that out from what I was saying. Yeah, we beat Tracy McGrady and the Rockets in the season opener in 2004. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Yeah, Nako was after the Magic. He went to the Rockets next. That's right. Next. All right, guys. 3 future Raptors were on the Sixers in 2007 and 2008 when the Raptors beat the 76ers in their season openers 2 years straight in a row. Who are the 3 Raptors that were on the Sixers in 2007 and 2008? They were become Raptors later, but they lost to us 2 years in a row. So there's 3 guys who were on the Sixers in 2007, 2008 that became Raptors later. Andre Miller. I don't think Andre Miller ever became a Raptor. He never became a Raptor. Lou Will. Yeah, you're cutting it close putting his short name on there is right. Lou Williams is one of them, Ahmet, but you should write out the whole name. That's full name answer. Lou Will is a nickname. You don't do that. Thaddeus Young is one of them. That's right. Nako got Thaddeus. Thaddeus was on those teams in 2007, 2008. And there's one more there. That's all good. It's all good. I'm being a stickler today. Adriana's right. I'm being a hard ass today. She's right. Let's see. The last one is a guy. There's a clip that's out on Raptors Reddit this morning, or I think even somebody posted in our chat or something about he had to get ball or something like that. He had to get ball. If you know the answer to that, you can write the name in. Get ball. Get the ball. Jaden McDaniels. No, it's not Jaden McDaniels. He's too late. You got to figure this is as old as this is Thad Young's rookie years. So it's got to be a really old player. Chuck Hayes is a good guess, James, but it's not right. He do Turkoglu because I said ball. No, there was a story about this guy fighting with James Johnson about getting rebounds. It was a story that DeMar DeRozan told in the last year. He said they were on the court and this guy was fighting for rebounds. And he said he was going to punch James Johnson out if he didn't let him get his rebounds. So if you remember who that is, that's the answer. Eric Montross is a great guess, Isaac, because he was around that time. But I don't remember him being on the Sixers. Reggie Evans is right. James got it. It's Reggie Evans, who is the third Sixer that was on that Sixers team those 2 years. They were on that 2 years in a row, and the Raptors beat them 2 years in a row. Lou Williams, Reggie Evans, and Thaddeus Young. Yeah, it's pretty cool because they're from different eras. All right, guys, who were the Raptors' big 3 when the Raptors beat the Sixers in the second season, when they beat the Sixers that we just talked about? Who were the big 3 Raptors, like the main 3 Raptors? If you were saying this is the big 3 on this Raptors team, who were those 3 guys? That's right. Reggie Evans was the first Raptors jersey you ever owned. That's pretty cool. That's different, man. Monster rebounder, indeed. Yeah. Damon Stoudemire's not right. Chris Bosh was one of the big 3 at that time, Ahmet. So yes, that's one of them. Let's see. Jose Calderon is not right. Chris Bosh, Jose, and DeMar, nope. Vince Carter is not one of them. Nope. so far the only one. Andrea Bargnani is one of them. That's right. Amit got the second one. All right, let's see. Charles Oakley is not right. This is after Charles Oakley. Anthony Parker, no, I don't count him as a big three. This is kind of, they're all even. So that's why this was a good big three. So we'll see who remembers this. Who's the third big three that year that was on the Raptors team with Chris and Andrea Bargnani? And he's very equal. Not Jose. It's not Jose. Although Jose was on this team, he's not one of the big three. Bigger than Jose. Yeah, bigger than Jose. Yeah, not Anthony. Anthony's not bad. He was one of the better players on that team, but it's not Anthony. Yeah, TJ Ford is considered a big three. No, it's not TJ Ford. Jermaine O'Neal is the answer I was looking for. James knows. It was Jermaine O'Neal. When he came to the team, we had a triple tower lineup of Bargnani, Bosch, and O'Neal. And it should have been better than it was, but it didn't totally work. But it did work, kind of. You know, Jermaine O'Neal was pretty good, man. Jermaine O'Neal was pretty good. He wasn't on our team for very long, though. He wasn't. All right, next question, guys. What team and superstar did the Raptors beat in their season opener in 2009? What team and superstar did the Raptors beat in their season opener in 2009? Yeah, this is a good one. Please don't Google. Let's just guess. Let's think about who would be around that time in the Raptors in the history of the NBA. Orlando with Dwight Howard? Nope. Slug Deezy's got it. It was the Cavs, and it was LeBron James. Slug Deezy got it. That's right. This is before LeBronto. Well, the Raptors beat LeBron and the Cavs in the season opener that year. That's right. So Slug Deezy on the board today with that answer right there. All right, let's go. This one's big time. 7 answers for this one. So get ready. Full name answers on this one. Lots of opportunities for points here. So yeah, here we go. 7 Raptors scored double digits in the season opener win over the Cavs in 2011. Who were the 7 Raptors that scored in double digits against the Cleveland Cavaliers in their season opening win in 2011? No Vince Carter. DeMar DeRozan is on the list. Who said that? Nako? Nako gets DeMar. Okay. Kyle Lowry. Is Kyle Lowry on the list? No, Kyle Lowry is not on the list. Chris Bosh is not on the list. Andrea Bargnani is on the list. Who said Bargnani? Amit? Amit said Bargnani. He is on the list. Let's see. Pascal Siakam. Nope. Siakam's not on the team yet. Jose Calderon. Yes, Jose's on the list. Amit's coming, picking him off like a seagull. He's coming in, taking him. Let's see. Jonas Valanciunas is what James is saying. No. All right. Adriana's saying that. Who said DeMar first? Who said DeMar first? Amit said DeMar first. I see Fiercey. Yeah, you're right. Fiercey said DeMar first. You're right. All right, MJ's getting DeMar, changing it from Nakos. Thank you, Adriana. That's why you're here. I appreciate you. She's auditing me. Patrick Patterson is not right. Let's see. James Johnson. That's a good guess. James Johnson was on the team, but he wasn't one of the scorers. Fiercey saying Amir. That's right. Amir is one of them. Fiercey's getting Amir Johnson. That is right. Patrick Patterson. Terrence Ross. Is Terrence Ross on the list? No, Terrence Ross is not on the list. Yeah, you did. I gave it to you, MJ. I fixed it. Thank you, Adriana, for telling me. Leandro Barbosa is right. Now, man, you're so sketchy, bro. You're looking this shit up. You're not fucking doing this off the top of your head. You're looking this shit up. You seriously are. And you can act like you're not, but you are. You are. I know you are. James is getting Jared Bayless. That's right. Those are the last 2. Ed Davis and Leandro Barbosa right in a row. See, the problem is, Amit, you're too greedy. You don't miss. You're just like writing in the names from the list. It gives you away. If you had like wrong answers here and there, I would be like, okay, Amit is not doing it off the top of your head. But when you get correct 4 answers right in a row, you tell on yourself, bro. You're telling yourself. You go look at the page. You're not, but okay. I don't believe you, man. If you really know this that much off the top of your head, man, you should go into this some crazy field. If you can really, really remember all this shit like this, man. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Anyway, I'll let it. I'm just warning you. Just don't make it seem like you're cheating. Let's just put it that way. Because it does seem like you're looking directly at the list and just reading it off. All right, let's go. All right, that one's done. I thought that one would take longer. But you guys got Jared Bayless pretty quick. I'm impressed with that, James, that you got Jared Bayless. See, he put John Salmons in there. That's not right. But Jared Bayless was the tough answer, and James got it. It's crazy. You just know the rosters? Okay. All right. All right. Next question. Tony Brothers refereed a season opening win for the Raptors in 2013 over what team? For full name answer on the team, guys. Full name answer on the team. What team did Tony Brothers was at that game? He refereed for us. It was in 2013. It was a season opening win. What team was it? Dwayne Wade, Miami Heat? No. New York Knicks? No. Washington Wizards? No. No. These are good guesses, though, guys. Sixers? Nope. It wasn't Philadelphia. No, nope. Wasn't the Sixers. Let's see. Orlando Magic. No, it was Boston Celtics again. Yeah, Fiercey got this one. It was the Celtics again. They beat the Celtics in 2013 in their season opener, and Tony Brothers was one of the refs. So, yeah, you guys are coming in with the questions fast. I love it, man. Y'all are very competitive. I like this. All right, let's keep going, guys. The Raptors beat Atlanta in their season opener in 2014. Two Hawks were future Raptors. What two Hawks on that team were future Raptors? So in 2014, we beat the Hawks in our season opener. There were two players on the other side that were going to become Raptors down the road. What were those two players that were on the Hawks that year? Yeah, maybe Ahmed is good at this because he just knows these rosters. DeAndre Bembry, that's a good guess. It's not right. Damari Carroll's right though. Yeah, that's probably something that could be probably figured out pretty easy. Damari Carroll was one of them. Lou Williams is not right. Lou Williams is not right. There's one more on here, and it's kind of cool actually. The point guard. Yeah, I know Lou Williams, the point guard. It's not on this one. The point guard. Yeah, it is a point guard. The next name, the other person. Yeah, but it's a little bit like obscure. I don't know, Ahmed. If you can give me a name that's wrong and then give me the right answer, I'll be like, okay. But if you just name the right answer right now, Ahmed, I'll be like, yeah. You have no idea. This is going to surprise you. Then I like this. See, in some ways, I want to stump you a little bit. Dennis. Oh, what did I say? Whoa, Raptors champs is laughing at me. Whoa, wait a second, laughing at me. All right, I kind of screwed up just now. But either way, if you didn't hear me, then you didn't hear me. Yeah, whoa, what's that? The phone made a noise. There you go. Dennis Schroeder's right, guys. Yeah, I'll give it to Ahmed. That's my fault. Dennis Schroeder was like a rookie at that time. He was on the Hawks, and he was on that team in 2014 when we beat them in the season opener. Yeah, I screwed that up. It's hard because you know the answer, and I talk so much, and I'm trying to block myself from saying the answer sometimes. I do this from time to time, where I let it slip just a little bit. And you know what? It is what it is. All right, here we go. Question number 12 of 17. Who was the Raptors' leading scorer in the season opener win over Indiana in 2015? Who was the season opener leading scorer for the Raptors against Indiana? Yeah, it is hard. That's what I was saying is PhD, Raptors champs. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan's right. Yeah, that's right. Good job, James. Just go easy and simple. DeMar had 25 in that game, and he was the leading scorer. So just ahead of, yeah, you're in there first, James. DeMar DeRozan is right. All right, keep going. All right, what three future Raptors were on the Pistons in 2016 when we beat them in the season opener? What three future Raptors were on the Pistons in a season opening win for the Raptors in 2016? What three Pistons that became Raptors later? This one's a little harder. Jerome Williams is way before this, Isaac. I love your guess, though. It's funny. This is in 2014, or no, 2016, actually. This is 2016. Yeah. They were Pistons in 2016. They became Raptors later, but they were on that Pistons team. They got beat in 2016. These ones are hard. These ones are harder. They're another level lower. Stanley Johnson is one of them. Ahmet does know the rosters, obviously. Stanley Johnson is one of them. He's right. Garrett Temple's a good guess, but it's not right. I don't think Garrett's ever played for the Pistons. I don't think he ever made it to that team in particular. But it's a good kind of shot in the dark there, Nako, because Garrett has played for a lot of teams, but he didn't play for this one. The other two names are going to be hard. One of them is really hard, and one of them somebody we're trying to forget. So the last two answers may be a little tough. One of them's not somebody you think about when it comes to Raptors at all, because he's somebody we don't ever talk about. Joe Jackson, the father of Michael Jackson? I don't know. Or Joe Jackson stepping out. I don't know. No, there's no Joe Jackson in the league. I don't even remember a guy named Joe Jackson. Amit's saying it's the center guy. I watched him at the 905 game. He signed with us in like 2021. Yeah, you're on the right track. If you can figure out what his name is, Amit, you can get it. That is actually sounding exactly right. Joel Anthony, Aaron Baines. Aaron Baines is the right answer, Slug DZ. Aaron Baines was on that Pistons team, and he was the person I'm trying to forget. Yeah, Joel Anthony never played for the Raptors, though. John Sally, Rudy Gay, nope. I knew he went to Marquette. I don't understand. Yep, you're exactly right. You're thinking the right player. He's a blonde guy, and he's a center, and you're very close. Josh Jackson. No, it's not Josh Jackson. That's a good guess, though. That's a good guess. Josh Jackson fixing it. Yeah, that makes more sense. But it's not Josh Jackson because he did play for the Pistons. You're right. But this is before that. And he did come around and was in our training camp. Technically, he didn't really play for the Raptors. Yeah, let me get his first name. You'll know who it is. How could I help you get that? Well, he's probably his first name is the most famous king of England and ever in the history. He killed all his wives. I think that tells you exactly there. Yeah, the Birdman, Chris Anderson. No, it wasn't Chris Anderson. Henry Ellenson. That's right. Amit got it from that clue because he knew King Henry. Yeah, all that. Yeah, Henry Ellison was the name I was looking for. Yeah, good job, Amit. You got two of the three, and good job, Slug DZ, getting Aaron Baines. All right, we got four more questions still. Wow, we are on a voyage to knowledge today. We're on a voyage to knowledge. What team did the Raptors beat in their season opener in 2017? Both names. What team did the Raptors beat in their season opener in 2017, guys? Who was the team they beat that year? You guys just throw them in and guess, and whoever gets it first gets it. Miami Heat. No, it wasn't the Heat. Boston Celtics. That's a good guess because I keep doing that. Milwaukee Bucks. No. Philadelphia 76ers. Nope. Golden State Warriors. Nope. Yeah, we can go through the whole league. Boston. Nope. Philly. Nope. New York. Nope. Orlando. No. New Jersey Nets. Nope. None of these. Orlando Magic, no. Golden State Warriors, no. Chicago Bulls is the right answer. Slug DZ got that one again. Slug DZ's been hitting it here and there on these. He's got like three answers or four. Wow, Slug DZ, actually, you've done pretty all right. You got four answers today. Good stuff, man. Usually he's a classic card guy. But yeah, it was the Bulls. They beat the Bulls that year in their season opener. All right, let's keep going. Who was the Raptors' leading scorer in the Raptors' season-opening win over the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2015? Wait, is that right? No, 2018. Sorry, guys. It's 2018. Who was their leading scorer in 2018 in their season-opening win over the Cleveland Cavaliers? Let's see. Who was first? DeMar DeRozan? No, Kyle Lowry's right. Fiercey got it. It was Kyle Lowry. He got 27 in that game. 27 in that game. Yeah. Then James, you're just behind. Amit's in third on my screen. I think Adriana might have the same thing. I see Fiercey, James, Amit for Kyle Lowry right in a row right there. All right, next question, guys. Who got 22 points against the Raptors in their season opener in 2019? Who got 22 points against the Raptors in their 2019 season opener? And that's the year after our championship. So our first game after the championship, when we opened the season, who got 22 points? Not LeBron James? Nah. Colin Sexton? No. Good to see you, Stargate. No, this is an interesting question. It'll be fun to see how you guys get to it. I'll give you guys some clues to get to it. Don't look it up. John Morant? Nope. JJ Redick? Nah. This is the leading scorer of the game. 22 points. They led this team on the other side. Joel Embiid? No. This is a special. This has something to do with the Raptors. There's a connection here. So if you can figure it out in your brain, you'll figure it out. You'll get it. Yeah, it was in 2019. The Raptors won their season opener against this guy and his team, and he got 22 against us. Kyrie Irving? Nah. DeMar DeRozan? That's a good guess. It's not right. Brandon Ingram is right. Nako got it. Yeah, we were playing the Pelicans, and Brandon Ingram dropped 22 on us in our season opener in 2019. So Nako the Nachos got it. Yeah, it's Brandon. It's the notorious BI3. That's right. I had to do that. I was like, oh, Brandon, he's in the season opener game here. Because when I was doing my research, I'm trying to see things that kind of make sense to make questions about. Well, Brandon Ingram's a current Raptor. And, that question was good for that. All right, two more questions, really. I got one more question, but there's two right there. Yeah, the irony, BI3. That's right. Okay, who was the leading scorer for the Toronto Raptors in their season opening win over the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2022? That's not that long ago. We could remember this. Who was the leading scorer for the Raptors in their season opener in 2022, a win over the Cleveland Cavaliers? Who was it? Who was that? Pascal Siakam's right, James. You got that one right. That's right. That is Siakam. Siakam scored 23 in that game. So Siakam is the right answer. James getting that one first. Last half question, guys. All right. And then in 2023, which is only a couple years ago, who was the leading scorer over Minnesota Timberwolves for the Raptors that year? Who was our leading scorer in the game against the Timberwolves in 2023? Scotty Barnes is not right, guys. Scotty Barnes is not right. Fred VanVleet is not right. No, Fred, I don't know if Fred was still on the team at that point, guys. I think Fred was gone. So OG is not right. RG was not on the team yet, Nako. OG was on the team still, but it's not OG Anunoby. Gary Trent Jr.? No, it's not him either. Pascal, it's not Pascal. No, you guys these are good guesses. These were people that were on the team, except for RJ and Fred. But Jakob Pertl? No, it wasn't Yak. It wasn't Yak. Dennis Schroeder's right. Amit, man, you're so suspicious, man. I'm telling you right now. It was Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder's first ever game for the Raptors. Technically, he was the leading scorer for us. He was 22 points. And he had the most points for the Raptors in his first game ever playing for us. Yeah, it was just not that long ago. So, see, Amit's got a really good memory. He's like, that's not that long ago. It was actually 2 years ago. It's not even 3 years ago. Because it's 2023, right? It's 2 years ago from now. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's the trivia for today. I'll add up all the totals and we'll see how it goes on the standings and see how everybody did. Man, wow. I know it's tough, and I'm sorry I'm ornery this morning. I don't know why I am. I've got people coming in my yard to dig it up today, and it's a little weird. I'm a little stressed out about it because they're going to bring a big, huge machine on my yard, and I don't want them to rip up like my soil and my property. And I don't like big machinery being around in my yard. So they're bringing something here today. I'm a little bit I don't want. I mean, it's necessary. It has to happen, but it's also kind of like. Honestly, I was tempted to say Malachi as a joke. You could have done that. That would have been hilarious. Adriana saying, "You tell me to give people the benefit of the doubt." I know. I don't know why I'm like this right now. I need to chill out. Let's have fun. How about that? Let's do this right now. Let's have fun. First of all, I'll do the straight goods on Canadian goods. You know, I'm talking about pizza today. And, I can say pizza. Of course, you go get pizza. It's Canadian. It's a lot of locations all over the place. There's probably one convenient to you wherever you are in Canada. I think they have them over in the West Coast. And, pizza is a great alternative. But there's a lot of other pizza companies around Canada you can go get to support Canada. Pizza 73 is in Edmonton, and they're part owned by Pizza. So if you see Pizza 73, that's a Canadian company. Strong emphasis on Canadian sourcing and local operations. Pizza Culture Napolitana. Yeah, this one's in Quebec, and there's a strong emphasis on Neapolitan style preparation and Canadian ingredient sourcing. Pizza Face. If you guys want some Pizza Face, out in Edmonton, they got a place called Pizza Face, and it's local sustainable ingredients and innovative branding. So maybe y'all know about Pizza Face over in Alberta. But yeah, that sounds like a fun pizza place. Pizza Farm. You could go to the Pizza Farm. It's here in Ontario. It's known for local sourcing and farm-to-table ethos. Also, it's community-rooted in Canadian business here in Ontario. So go get Pizza Farm. If you know where it is. I want to know where the Pizza Farm is. I want to go to Pizza Farm. Pizza Libretto. That's another one. Canadian restaurant brand offering frozen pizza made locally. So if you want to get the frozen pizza, you don't want to go to the restaurant, you can find us at your grocery store. Pizza Libretto. There you go. I'm trying to help you with pizza here, y'all. Pizza Aggie. Pizza Aggie is a company with gluten-free pizza that is made here in Canada. It's frozen pizza also that you can put in your fridge. Pizza Pirates. Y'all, there's pizza pirates out there. Watch out. Guard your pizza. Regional Pizzeria in Saskatchewan and Alberta. They're Canadian-owned and community-rooted. Ingredient sourcing likely local. That's Pizza Pirates. So maybe watch out in the prairies for the Pizza Pirates. Of course, Pizza is on here already. I've already talked about that. Pizza Rubato Napolitano. That's another one with the Neapolitan style, but that one's in Vancouver. We got Pizza Salvatore, which is in Quebec, and they're expanding into Eastern Canada. So if you see Pizza Salvatore, that's a 100% Canadian pizza company. Pizzeria Gusto. This is in Winnipeg, and they're an independent pizzeria, and they're owned Canadian and strong local identity and sourcing. So Pizzeria Gusto, if you're in Winnipeg, Manitoba, very, very good. Pizzeria Libretto, that is here in Toronto, and they're known for their Neapolitan pizza, and they're Canadian owned also. Pizzeria number 900. They're in Quebec, and they're a Neapolitan chain also. Pizzeria Prima Strada is in Vancouver on the Vancouver Island, and it's a pizzeria. You can go in there, and they have the artisanal Italian pizza making over there. PJ's Grill and Pizza, another one there, and they're in New Brunswick, locally owned with Canadian menu items. So lots of pizza opportunities in Canada. You don't need Domino's. You don't need Pizza Hut. You don't need Papa John's. You don't need Little Caesars. You don't need any of those fucking companies. You can go to Pizza or go to one of your locally pizzerias that you can support a local pizza place. There's a lot of choices here, I'm telling you. And I just gave you like a dozen in your neck of the woods, wherever you are in Canada. Support Canadian pizza. All right, let me go. Let me keep going here with let's see what you guys are saying on the chat. Let's see. All right, let's see. Monique is saying team photos for 2025-26 looks so animated. Yeah, it's a really interesting filter they put on the team photo. I like the team photo. It's red. I like the Raptor red, and the guys look cool in their pose. Of course, they have them posing in different places with standing in different ways and stuff. And yeah, it's a great picture. I put it up on our Facebook group as the group photo, the cover photo. And yeah, it's a new season, and it's signified by new media day pictures that we can look at and be like, yeah, this is our new team. This is our team. And it's not an 18-man roster right now. It's a 17-man roster. And we got 3 two-ways and a 14-man team with one roster spot open. And I'm okay with that. I mean, a lot of people are wondering when we're going to fill that spot. Well, we're not in a hurry. And in some ways, it might be good to have a flex spot just for a little while. Because look, think about this. Bobby Webster's like, man, we're so jammed up with talent. It's like if we carry somebody at the end, it's like, let's leave this open because we don't really need that kind of depth because we've got so many good guys playing and we're mostly healthy. So it's like we don't need to fill the spot anytime soon. And there may very well be financial considerations for the reason why Bobby holds off on filling the last roster spot for the Raptors. I know a lot of us are kind of saying, "Ooh, we should go get this person." Like James was saying last night on our Discord, should we go get Tyler Smith of the Milwaukee Bucks from getting cut? He was like a second-round pick from them. He was on G League Ignite, and he's an interesting big that has some skills. But I said to James, "It's like, no, if they're discarding him from that team, there's something." Do we really want the scraps from other teams is what I was saying. That's the tough thing about trying out other guys on your team after they've been somewhere. I don't know. The other thing that's crazy about that is that the Bucks have not signed any of their rookies they've drafted since Giannis to a second contract. That is huge crazy. Like, think about how long Giannis has been in the league now, and the Bucks have failed on every single draft pick after him to continue with them after their rookie contract. They either get cut, either they're a bust, or they get traded. None of them that they have drafted after Giannis. And we got to understand, Giannis is like a 10-year plus player in the league now. None of their draft picks afterwards have come through and stuck around. And Tyler Smith is just the latest. A guy who literally got drafted last year in the second round is cut from their team immediately. Meanwhile, we're going and getting undrafted guys like Chucky Hepburn and Jamison Battle, and they're sticking around. I'm telling you, there's waste right there. Logical Raptors fanatic would say Milwaukee Bucks are wasting their draft and doing what they do in their horrible front office. Horrible front office. That's right. Horrible. Amit saying, is Pizzaville Canadian? Yeah, I believe that Pizzaville is a Canadian company also. So if you're going to go to Pizzaville, I think that is a Canadian chain here. Yeah, I do think so. Yeah, Raptors. Champs is saying plus. All right, plus. Trevor's saying Raptors don't extend Oshai's rookie contract. This is great cue card for me to talk about so that I can clear the air for the fans and Raptors Nation about what's going on with Oshai. There was a deadline yesterday that passed, and it was all the players in his rookie class that it was a deadline to extend. So basically, the Raptors had the option to put money down on Oshai past this year, but they did not. And we can think about why they did this. Obviously, they want to have it open, but this doesn't mean he's going to be gone. This just means that the Raptors will have to negotiate with him at the end of the season to try and get him back. And, he may have free agency rights to be signing with any team, but he may be a restricted free agent where we can match whatever they offer. But right now, we could have locked him down for the future. But in some ways, we got to discover this year what direction we're going in with our different players on our roster. And well, I mean, it would have been something if Bobby had locked him down on something yesterday, but he didn't. And that just means the competition's out there. The spot is open. I mean, if he did that, in some ways, that would really kind of show this is the way we're going for the future. Oshai is the person we're investing in, but he's leaving it wide open because there's a competition between guys on our team to figure out who's going to be sitting in the spot for the long term on the Raptors. And some guys will continue to get great and do well, but they may have to be going to other teams at some point. So it's just a little housekeeping. There's a lot of players that are good that the same thing happened to yesterday. In fact, one of them is Walker Kessler. So I think that's right. I think I looked at the list. You guys had the list up in a couple different places. Let me look at it again and just see, because you had the list up, but yeah, there wasn't any sound. I see it. Yeah, I had to switch the new one. Okay, the list of names, and this is interesting. The 12 players that are going to be in the free agency class next year, and they'll be restricted, are Jaden Ivey, Benedict Mathurin. See, the Pacers didn't double down on Benedict. So Benedict, in some ways, may be loose next summer. Jeremy Sohan, Usman Dieng, Jalen Duren, Mark Williams of Phoenix, Tari Eason, Dalen Terry, Malachi Brannon, Walker Kessler, and Peyton Watson of Denver. Of course, Christian Brune got his done. And yeah, in fact, let's go look at the Instagram stories. There's a lot there right there. First, Teresa Resch is celebrating the Blue Jays Game 7 win last night by showing this guy Springer, I guess, jumping on the base path. That's the iconic picture right now that everybody's posting. There's the whole team celebrating. They're the American League champions. And that is fantastic. Charles Oakley is congratulating the Blue Jays, guys. Charles Oakley, old Oak, is proud of the Blue Jays. He's saying World Series bound. That's awesome. We see Kelly Olynyk celebrating the Blue Jays win last night as a Canadian guy from Scarborough. He can really get behind the World Series appearance of the Blue Jays happening that's coming up. I love to see these guys like Oakley and Olynyk come out for the Blue Jays. Toronto Temper is celebrating the Blue Jays. The country's behind you, and they made an AI. They're doing AI stuff again on Toronto Temper. It's annoying. All this stuff is AI, guys. All these Blue Jays graphics are AI. At least they're done tastefully and they look good, but they are still AI. Let's just put it that way. And even the Toronto Tempo's little pumpkin picture with the stencils of the Tempo, that's an AI picture too. And it sucks because in some ways I'd like to reject everything that's AI, but things that I love are going to force me to be interacting with AI, like the Blue Jays, the Tempo, and the Raptors. That's going to be sad. Because in some ways, some of us don't want to be interacting with AI. Maybe I'll just ignore the AI pictures. I don't know. I got to do something. There's another AI picture. The North Believes with a little AI Blue Jay flying on the top of a World Series trophy. Eric Smith's got a game. Here we go. Game 7. He's at the field and he's enjoying it. And there's bedlam after the game where everybody is celebrating for the Blue Jays and Vlad Guerrero Jr. crying on TV. This is what it's all about, is what Eric Smith said. World Series bound. This is awesome. So we'll play Ohtani and the Dodgers on Friday, and we have the home field advantage because we have a better record than the Dodgers, guys. So this is very similar to the Raptors championship run in 2019. This is a team. It's a team of destiny that's been coming through. We're even right down to the losing the first 2 games of the ALCS, just like we lost the first 2 games of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. There's a lot of similarities here. So I want to see Vladdy get up there and get there like Kawhi and kick the Dodgers' ass because everybody would favor them. They're going to. The ESPN people did not count you in for any of this shit, Blue Jays. So keep going just like the Raptors did and prove all the experts wrong. And, the same kind of scenario worked out. We had the home court advantage of the Warriors, and it really helped. So use your home field advantage against the Dodgers. And let's recreate some baseball history that's looking like basketball history from 2019. I'm all about this storyline. I'm all about this. There you go. Let's go snatch one. Get that third World Series title for Toronto Blue Jays. That's what I'm here. That's what I want. That's right. They put the flag up on the CN Tower. That looks like that's real. No, that's probably AI, Lex, once again. Now, all right, this is something important we have to talk about. They dumped all the Halloween pictures from the Halloween party on Sunday night. The Raptors had their annual Halloween party. It's kind of like their preseason party to get ready for the season, and people were wearing costumes. And well, Scotty was Shrek. Scotty was Shrek. He painted his face green, and he dressed up like Shrek. In some ways, maybe he's trolling some people, talking some trash or something like that. He's like, all right, I'll be Shrek or something like that. And then Bobby, who won the costume contest, Bobby Webster, our GM and head of basketball operations, won the costume contest by dressing up as Borat. Now, I don't know how many people still know who Borat is. Borat's kind of been buried and gone for a while. That movie was very important at that time and very, very good. And in fact, it's more important now in some ways than ever with MAGA World. I'm telling you right now. I think that Bobby is so genius for making his costume Borat. I'm just telling you, there's deep levels to him being Borat and waving an American flag around. There's a lot to it. If you go watch the movie Borat and understand Sacha Baron Cohen's character and what he was trying to get across in that movie, you will understand why Bobby's costume is just such on a high level of troll. In some ways, there's a lot of deep meaning to what he's doing there. And I appreciate it, Bobby. This is a genius costume. And you did a good job. Very nice, Bobby. Very nice. Yes. It's so good, man. But yeah, the Raptors were at the game last night. They did go. They did go. Emmanuel was saying at the practice interview earlier in the day after practice, most of us are going to the Blue Jays game tonight. And I'm glad because in some ways, look, you could be Chucky Hepburn. You could be Elijah Martin. You could be Colin Murray Boyles. You go to that Blue Jays game. You see how that Toronto crowd gets behind the Blue Jays. You see that energy in there. As Scott said in his Instagram story, is electric. The noise, the crowd, the energy around the Blue Jays in the Rogers Center last night at Game 7. And look, this is crazy. You know I didn't watch the game. And Adriana was going to sleep last night. She messaged me, I can't watch this game anymore. She was sad. I'm like, what? Are they losing? I don't want to know what the score is, but are they losing? She's like, yeah, they're losing. They're losing. It's like 3-1. And I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, well, don't get all upset because that's a winnable game still, Adriana. They may only down 2 runs. They can still win this. So don't get upset. She's going to bed. She's like, I can't watch the game anymore. And she went to bed. She didn't know the outcome until this morning. And I didn't know until later. I was like, I knew they were down, but I was like, man, they could come back and still win. And they did. Thank God. I was sending that energy like crazy without even watching it. Go ahead and get those runs. Get 2 more runs at least. Get 3 more runs and win. And man, they came through electric. And I love the fact that our guys were there. Our Raptors were there because they need to feel the passion that Toronto sports fans have for their teams. And they need to get a hunger for them to be involved in the game situation where the city's reacting like this and getting up hyped up like this level. You know, the Blue Jays are igniting something right now in this city, in the sports hearts. And the Raptors are seeing it firsthand and being involved in it. This is a fantastic thing. And like RJ said, is like I'm so proud of the Blue Jays for being in the postseason right now. And we're next. We're going to be there next. And that's what Jakob said too. He said, you know, they're in the postseason. That's great. But we're going to be there next too. And that's what I'm saying. We need to build off of this momentum with the Blue Jays into the Raptors season. And some of our Raptors guys may be a little bit more inspired from seeing the things that they saw at Rogers Center last night. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. That's how it works. Seriously. Scotty really liked it. He was hyped. And he's wearing the Blue Jays hat and shirt, the jersey. So he's really into it. And he's yelling, man. So he's a real one, man. That's it. You know, you don't care about a city and a team like that unless you're for real and riding with them. And Grady's yelling in the back, too. It's crazy. Yeah, them boys were wearing their Blue Jays jerseys. That's right. There you go. Lindsey Dunn on the field, just enjoying it, man. The crowd would look amazing at Rogers Center and just World Series bound now. Look at it. Yeah, of course, our guy Vladdy is the ALCS MVP. And keep going, man. Keep going. You know, the prognosticators for the MLB on ESPN, they don't like us to win, do they? But they say we'll go the way of Laddie. But we do have, this is the thing, the Dodgers didn't necessarily want us. They wanted the Mariners because in some ways they would have home field advantage against the Mariners, and they're an easier team to beat. But we're a harder team for them to beat. And that's what Milbester was saying, you know, and other people like Reggie, Smooth Brown Man. The Blue Jays are a way better matchup for the Dodgers and giving them trouble. So I want to see this. I want to give them a lot of trouble. I think Doug Smith said it best on his Blue Skies this morning. He said that this is what Doug Smith said. It's hilarious. I think, hang on, where is it? I gotta find it. There's so many points. Who said it? Was it Doug or was it Josh? I think it was Josh. Let me see. It was Josh Lundberg. Let me see. Where did he say it? This is what he said. Okay, Shohei's going to wish he got on Robert Herjavec's jet. That's what Josh Lundberg tweeted last night, 10 hours ago. Shohei Ohtani is going to wish he got on that jet. That's funny, man. That's good shit right there. I love that, man. But yeah, there's the crew with Lindsay after the game celebrating. They're drenched. They're drenched. Zach Edey is celebrating the Toronto Blue Jays victory last night. Toronto boy Zach Edey of the Memphis Grizzlies is in on the celebrating, guys. Jacoby Walter posting the team media picture from yesterday. And also, Jacoby did not go to the game, but he was at home celebrating when the Blue Jays won on the big screen TV. So he's putting that, he sees the fire there. Yeah, Grady, of course, was there. Of course, all right. At the Halloween party, Grady, why did you dress up as Chucky? I think that Chucky should have had rights to be Chucky because Chucky did dress up as Chucky. And then there was two Chuckies. And then all of a sudden there was a Spider-Man scene where Chucky was pointing at Chucky. I think that Chucky should have proprietary rights over Chucky because he's Chucky. So Grady, why are you Chucky? I don't know. I don't get that. But Chucky was Chucky at the Halloween party. Yeah, and that's fun. That's fun. Child's play, I tell you. It's child's play. Yeah, Grady's got a cool media day picture where he's standing up tall and looking down at the camera. It's pretty cool. And there he is with his girlfriend, Carla. What did Carla dress up as? Like, what is that? She's wearing a blonde wig and she's got some, are those real tattoos she always has or something? I don't know. What are you supposed to be, Carla? I don't know. I don't know her costume. Is she Carrie or something? I don't know. It's weird. There's Jonathan Mobo at the game, and Grady's laughing at him. I think it's because he's watching the TV screen instead of the field, but I don't know. Grady's laughing at Jonathan. I don't know why he's laughing at him. And Grady's hype, man. He really enjoyed that baseball game last night. Those guys looked like they were going crazy with cheering for them, which is awesome. I love to see that, man. Yeah, and then Jonathan's got his media day picture there with the guys sitting on the ground there in front of Sandro and Oshai. Yeah, media day pictures are cool, man. And there's the picture of the field and the Blue Jays game last night. Very cool. Evan Gilliard the second is eating lamb chops somewhere. They look like jerk lamb chops. Look pretty good. Chris Boucher got asked who is the biggest trash talker in practice, and he says Peyton Pritchard. It's probably Peyton. So they're asking him questions in Celtics camp. And he's got a Kobe picture of the ball right in his face and saying a clear mind, a calm mind sees everything. I like that. Let's see. Me looking at an imaginary camera every time my life gets a new plot twist. I like that too. I like that. Let's see. And yeah, Chris is just hanging around Boston Harbor. It looks like they're getting ready for the season. Oh, you know what he did? This is crazy, guys. Chris, now that he's had his Players Tribune, his story is out, and people are recognizing, you know, that he was homeless at a certain point. Well, Chris is being more of an advocate for the homeless. This is what he did last night in Boston. He went to a convenience store and he bought like a tea and some Cheetos and some water and some snacks. And well, let's start this marathon, one good deed a day. Follow the movement. So he wants to do this. Every single day he's going to do a good deed. And well, he found somebody out in the streets with a cart and he gave this stuff to them. So in some ways, Chris is trying to be a good example for everybody else. In a weird, crazy-ass, cruel world, the way things are going right now, Chris Boucher is shining a light of positivity and humanity. And I appreciate him for it. He says, I hope you feel a little better in the morning, talking to the person. He didn't take a picture of them or anything like that. But this kind of example is really good. It's a really, really good thing. I know that in my past, I've had different people who are living on the streets that I've tried to pseudo sponsor, people that I'd keep up with on a regular basis in the community, that if they needed anything, I'd ask them and I would try and help them out. And often I would be feeding them or getting them all kinds of different stuff. If you can do stuff like that, do it. Seriously, because everybody might need a little helping hand. Trevor J is so philanthropic in his life. I know he's doing this kind of stuff. But seriously, as times get tough and different people fall through the cracks, sometimes we need angels out there. And you can be an angel yourself, is what I'm saying. Jamal Shed saying this, Kyler Edwards went off 38 points. Okay, who is he? I don't know who that is. He's got old highlights of him at Houston, too. Jameson Battles got his media day picture. He's making his mean face. And yeah, these are very vibrant pictures, Mo. You're right. They're very vibrant. They're like 3D almost. And then also Jameson was at the Rogers Center last night. So he was in the house for the game. This is very interesting, shocking news that came out yesterday. The CBL's founder and commissioner has stepped down as the leader of the CBL. Michael Moriali has been in charge of the CBL since it started, but he's stepping down. I don't have any reason to know why. I don't know. Doug Smith saying this is a big deal because we wouldn't have the CBL if it wasn't for this guy. You know, I went to a couple of CBL games this summer, and he was at the games I went to. And he's just really in the middle of it all and running things and making sure things are going well and stuff like that. So salute to you, Michael Moriali, for your work in the Canadian Elite Basketball League and what you set up. And I hope that your successor does a very good job continuing to run that league in the right kind of way. So thank you. I'll say thank you, too, to former commissioner of the CBL, Michael Moriali. And I don't know why they're moving on. CBL saying happy Diwali, guys. That's right. It's been Diwali the last day or so. And I want to say happy Diwali, Festival of Lights. Everybody celebrates. Yeah. So Serge Ibaka has made an appearance at another training camp. We were just talking about him helping Shamshe recently. Well, he showed up at Thunder practice yesterday, and he's with SGA and his former original team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And he's down there working out with them all of a sudden. Do you guys feel bad about that? Do you feel like a turncoat? I don't. That's a place where he used to be. And honestly, if he's down there helping SGA and Lou Dort, I'm not having a problem with that. So Serge is kind of going to help the Thunder all of a sudden. So he's at practice and he's teaching these young Thunder guys down there. AJ Lawson was a Grim Reaper at the Halloween party this Sunday. And I was calling him Maple Slim Reaper because he's like, a little bit like that. And then, of course, Jakob was a minion. It was kind of crazy. And Yak posted on Facebook. He said, "Guys, do you like my new look?" It's like, he's a minion. He's like a big yellow minion. I guess he likes that movie Despicable Me, that he would dress up like a minion. That's the biggest minion I've ever seen. I'll say that right now. Of course, Jamal Shed dressed up as whatchamacallit's movie Dodgeball. Well, Ben Stiller in Dodgeball. You know, that guy. That's who Jamal was dressed up as. That's pretty cool. Sandro Mamu was Harry Potter. Sandro Potter. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, AJ's media pictures look good. Glad you made the media cut, bro. Glad you made the cut. Let's see. What else we got? They were doing this event last night near Ossington where they had a ton of those Raptors limited edition trading cards, and they had the golden tickets that they're giving out for the home opener on Friday. You come down there and you open your pack and you get a golden ticket. You get free tickets to the game against Milwaukee on Friday night. And well, they said, we're at Ossington. Come down here. And a bunch of people came down there and got card packs. And hopefully somebody got a ticket. So that's what was going on. Also, apparently, they're going to be giving shirts at the first game of the season this year. It's a black shirt with We the North on the corner right here. And on the back, it's like a white silhouette of the Raptor logo. It's very cool. I mean, I like this shirt, and they're going to be giving it for free at the game on Friday. So go to the game and get your black We the North T-shirt. Very, very cool shirt. I like the shirt. It's a good design. Let's see. What else we got? Colin Murray Boyles has got a picture of the rookies. Now, Chucky may have showed up as Chucky, but at some point, the team made the rookies Hayes. Yeah. Monique was like, yeah, this is childish. And she's exactly right. They embarrass those guys, but in some ways they love it. They're in the NBA. They're living their dreams, and they got to dress up as Tinky Winky and Poe and all this bullshit. Yeah, they'll do it. So yeah, Elijah, Colin, and Chucky were the Teletubbies, and it's kind of goofy. It's pretty goofy, but they did it, and they sang karaoke too, and And Colin was all about singing karaoke these days. Elijah's singing karaoke. He's probably singing Morgan Wallen, is what I'm hearing. That's what he sings. Let's see. There's Oshai Abaji celebrating his former Kansas teammate who did sign an extension off his rookie contract. Christian Brun is signing a new deal with the Denver Nuggets in the last day or so. And Oshai celebrating for him. And let's see. Lloyd is celebrating that a friend of theirs is committed to Louisville. That's London Johnson is going to Louisville Cardinals. Chucky Hepburn's probably happy about that. There's your Instagram stories right there. Blue Jays win and Halloween party. There was a suspicious Halloween costume at the Halloween party on Sunday night. They got second place in the contest. The third place was Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram won as Michael Myers from Halloween, wearing Michael Myers mask. You know, the Michael Myers mask is William Shatner's face. Yeah, a lot of people know that. I know that's not a really deep dive factoid, but yeah, if you didn't know that, the mask Michael Myers was modeled after a Star Trek mask of William Shatner, and so in some ways, the William Shatner mask is very Canadian of Brandon Ingram to wear. And of course, when he got his second place, he came up and he stabbed Jamal Shed with a knife. He shanked him like Michael Myers would. Now, the second place winner, I'm not sure who it was. And I have some concerns about their costume. It seems that somebody dressed up as like a riot gear in riot gear. Like somebody would be out at the protests, kind of standing around with a mask. I'm not sure who dressed up as this. I have my suspicions of which Raptor or person around the Raptors did. I don't really want to say who I think it was until I know for sure who it was. They called him Ming, so it could be an employee, but they were pretty tall. They were about the height of a forward center. And I'd hate to think that somebody dressed up as Ice at our Halloween party. So if somebody dressed up as Ice at our Halloween party, shame on you, whoever it was. Don't fucking normalize that bullshit that's going on in the United States right now. Don't celebrate it like it's a fun costume. No, whoever dressed up as a riot gear person at the Raptors Halloween party on Sunday, two-finger salute for you. And I don't even know who you were. I can't tell for sure. I have my suspicions. I'm not going to say who I think it is, but I'm not impressed with that costume. And you know what? Jamal Shed wasn't either, because in that footage, he said, I hated on this costume. And you're right to hate on that costume, because that costume was a symbol of authoritarianism and fascism. And whoever fucking wore that costume at the Raptors Halloween party, you're an idiot. And you need to learn your history. And that's a very poor taste costume for right now. Whoever wore that costume, whether it was staff or a player. And I don't know. It could have been staff. It could have been staff. Who the hell is called Ming on our team right now? I wonder. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Yeah, let's see. Pizza badale. I don't know. It's not on the list. I just named what was on the list, Adria. Roger Raymond's here. Good morning to Roger Raymond. Thank you for supporting this channel as a member. I appreciate you very much. Good day, Raptor Freaks. What an awesome night celebrating Blue Jays. Yeah, that's awesome, isn't it, Roger? Let's see. Oh, wow, you guys filled it up. We're going to definitely get through all this stuff, guys. Don't worry. Let's see where I got to get back because it jumped ahead. Celebrating the Blue Jays back in the World Series. This is fantastic. It sounds crazy to say they haven't been there since 32 years ago. You know, it's kind of crazy too, because the Blue Jays haven't made the World Series very often. I think they've only made it twice. And well, did they win it both times? Yes, they did. So let's make it a perfect hat trick. Let's get a 3-0 record in the World Series this year, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and the rest. You guys can do this. We believe in you. And in some ways, like I said, you're a team of destiny. Go get it. And hopefully you have answers for the juggernaut that is the LA Dodgers. So let's go, Blue Jays. Let's not be happy where we're at already. We can go further and let's go get it. That's right. Mr. Roger Raymond saying, thanks for the Canadian pizza options. Yeah, just a few of them. I'm sure there's many, many more. Like Adriana's saying, pizza badali, something like that. Yeah. G saying, Otani will be on a plane to Toronto, and it's for real this time. I'm going to give you a dunk for that one, G. That's funny. Yeah, he's got to come here because we won. And he's got to face the Blue Jays, a team that he kind of dissed. 69 on the dunk charts for our man, G, the original Raptor Freak Trivia champion. Yeah. Let's see. Go Blue Jays. Thanks, Lex, for your sacrifice of not watching. Amazing series. I know. I feel like I really am FOMO. Feelings of missing out. But you know what? It's so worth it. I just want them to win. As long as they win, I can share it and enjoy it. And who knows? Maybe I'll go back and watch some of it just for the hell of it. Maybe I will go back and watch some of it. Maybe they can cut out all the extra like waiting around and the ball scratching and spitting, and I can just like watch the actual plays. And like, how they used to do the Raptors game in an hour on Raptor TV channel. Maybe I can get the condensed highlight reels of the important stuff from the Blue Jays series in this playoff run, and I can actually catch up and see it all after it's all done. I might have to do that because I am like, what? I want to see this grand slam that Vladdy hit against the Yankees. I want to see this. I want to see that. Yeah. In some ways, I do feel like I'm missing out. But I so want to do this if it's helping things. I'm telling you. The other thing I want to say about this is I want to say that this is something that's very different that's happened in Toronto sports than ever. And the Raptors really were the ones who kicked the door down on this. For the longest time, there was a lot of psyops and stupid shit because the Leafs with sports fans in Toronto, that they're very cynical. They're negative. They're always like, yeah, but we get the first round, but then we get out the first round. Very bad fan psychology. Very, very bad fan psychology. Not positive. Cynical. Always thinking, well, we could get the playoffs, but we'll be out the first round. Well, we're going to make the playoffs ever. We're in the AL East. We can't get past the Yankees and the Red Sox. The Leafs are just going to choke again in the first round. The Raptors are a Toronto team. They're going to choke. This bullshit. All these kind of storylines that I heard for decades around the city of Toronto about how it's a sports team like Cleveland. They can't win jack shit. No. I never accepted that reality. And everybody who embedded that shit in their psyche as a Toronto sports fan, shame on you, because you didn't think about how we could be positive and have a route to being positive in this world. Seriously, I opened my mind to it as a Raptors fan, as a Raptors freak, and my whole mantra and philosophy as a fan is a positive fan that supports his team and doesn't talk to failure. And maybe in some ways, the Toronto Raptors winning the 2019 championship busted it open for a lot of sports fans in this city to understand you can believe and you can achieve. And well, the Blue Jays are pulling that kind of mindset towards where they're going right now with the World Series. No Leaf Nation bullshit coming down to tear it down at this point with toxic bullshit and second guessing and all kinds of crap like that. Sure, they put little in last week and failed for it, but we bounced back and we kept going and we didn't destroy ourselves with toxic ass shit in the media and with the fans. So I appreciate Blue Jays Nation for being more like Raptors Nation than Leafs Nation and going forward with a positive attitude of yes, we can and we will. Because that's the thing. Leafs Nation, you've held this city back for so fucking long with your bullshit. And the Raptors are ahead, and that's why we're different than y'all. We're different than y'all. And the Blue Jays are coming with us. And they're going to be like us and not like y'all anymore. Y'all may share the color blue, but they're coming with us, the red team, to be in a positive space where we can succeed and not shoot ourselves in the foot. So, yeah, I say this right now. Listen, Toronto sports fans, don't believe the hype. We are a good sports city. We are a successful sports city. And we will go get championships on our teams. Just because the Leafs are lagging and stupid and full of shit with their bullshit, toxic shit, doesn't mean we have to in baseball or basketball. So let's go get it, Blue Jays. That's what I have to say right there. Rant done. Drop the mic. Right there. That's right. That mentality has held back this city for so long, Maple Leafs. And that's why Ed Rogers, as much as you may want the Maple Leafs to be the biggest team in Toronto, they aren't responsible enough to be in charge like that because they're not a good role model. That's what I say right there. Yeah. Drop that mic, Lex. That's right. Drop it. That's right. Let's go. Trevor's saying, Raptor Halloween costumes I like. You like them? Yeah, they were cool. There's maybe a couple I haven't named that I saw in the footage too. Let me see. Who else did I see there that was, Jameson Battle was Ted Lasso. He was like the only one that I was like, whoa, who's Jameson? I don't know. I'm so out of the loop. I don't know who Ted Lasso is. But yeah, Jameson was Ted Lasso. And let me see. Who else was there and what were they wearing? There were some creepy costumes there. There were some creepy costumes indeed. Yes. Reggie's saying this. Game 1 of the World Series is the same night as the Raptors home opener. Yeah, that could be a little bit of a cluster F. But who cares? There's enough sports fans in this city to go to both. Rodgers is rolling in it, I guess. He's going to be feeling good. He's got World Series game and he's got the Raptors season opener on the same night. And, well, traffic's going to be like hell down there. So in some ways, maybe the Raptors should be giving people free T-shirts to deal with that. Traffic's going to be bad on Friday night around that part of the city for sure. But listen, we're going to sell out the home opener for the Raptors just as much as the World Series game will get to sell out too. You know that there's enough people to fill both places. And there will be people at both places. You know there will. Yeah, Fiercely saying, I was happy for the Blue Jays. Then I saw Ed Rodgers III grab the mic and stutter. It deflated my giddiness. Listen, you know what? Listen, if we're going to have success in this new era of Rodgers, I'm going to be okay with him. It's just the thing. It's like my biggest knock with him as the owner is he needs to spend for us to win. And if you know what, if the Blue Jays are going to win a World Series this year and do really well like this, that's a good sign. We need to be allowing for Ed Rodgers to not be a villain. And if we can be in a good place with him in his ownership, I will love that. Because I do want the Raptors to win championships. And I don't want to feel like he's pulling that purse strings and saying we can't do it. But if the Jays are successful and the Raptors continue to invest in being successful and they make good decisions with their personnel, like making Bobby in charge, then, I mean, I can be okay with him. And he needs, you know, the building's got his name on it. He's the owner of the team. He's got to come out there and be part of it and say something, even if it's like cringe. I know, even if it's cringe, a little stutter there, huh? Yeah, most saying interviews, decisions from yesterday. Yeah, we had 3 practice interviews after practice yesterday. Darko, Brandon, and Emmanuel. And, you know, Ingram, they tried to trap Ingram with the question. It was totally full of shit. It was Grange. He was talking about, will you guys play, will you play Chucky and Elijah in 101? And will you beat them or something? He said something. It's like, and Brandon caught him. He said, you're trying to get me in trouble. He's like, you know, these guys are really smart. It's like Grange may be one of those fuckers that will try and pull our team apart with some bullshit question in the media scrum. But Brandon's too savvy and been in this league too long to take the bait. So good job, Brandon, on that. Emmanuel was the same kind of thing. He's like, one of the things they said to him was like, Grange tried to paint Emmanuel as an injury-prone player. And he said this, and Emmanuel had the best response, and this goes along with what we say on this channel, is all the glory to God. It was God's decisions that I was hurt last year. It has nothing to do with I'm injury prone or anything like that. This is not normal for me that I'm hurt all the time. And in some ways, he was kind of like doing a rejection towards the idea that Emmanuel Quickley is an injury-prone player. He's like, no, God's plan is God's plan. And if I had to be out for that time, that was God's decision. So he's not even looking at it in the same way as the interviewer is trying to say this. He's thinking it's like God's will was what happened. And you can go ahead and say you're bullshit, but I'm not buying it. I know what I know in my life and what I see. And I appreciate the rejection of some of the stuff that Grange was saying to the players yesterday. Yeah, Darko's awesome. You can see he's enthusiastic. He's very proud of the Blue Jays. And he did not go to the game. He says he's going to watch it from home. But, yeah, it's a really good energy for the Raptors to be around right now, the success of the Toronto Blue Jays. And you got to think about this also. The Blue Jays, Vlad Guerrero and some of the TFC guys were at an event this summer with the young Blue Jays. Like Jacoby and Jameson and Jamal and Jonathan, they were around Vladdy. So they're friends with him. So in some ways, it's really cool for them because they have a personal stake in it because they've met Vlad and they've hung out with him. And he's a cool dude. And so seeing him out there have the success like that, yeah, these guys, it's a real thing for them. And they can feel like they're a real part of it because they you know, I bet that some of them are friends with Vladimir now just because they got to meet him at an MLSE event when they were all kind of in the box hanging out together. You remember the pictures of them. They had the TFC guys there too with the Raptors. So it's a really good situation all around the Blue Jays success. It really, really is. Let's see. Smooth saying, honestly, Rodgers has really spent money on the Blue Jays. See, that's what I'm saying. We got to give him a fair shake. You know, I can paint him as a bad guy. And sure, I'm going to call him out if he does really messed up things, like fire you, Masai. But for the most part, I have to, it's a clean slate. And in some ways, he hasn't done so much to a detriment to our team that I have to absolutely hate him. We're doing okay. We're healthy. And there's a lot of promise and success and positivity for this season for the Toronto Raptors. So, you know, I'm not coming after people unless I have to. And if Ed Rodgers is a good owner, if Ed Rodgers invests in the Toronto Raptors, if the Raptors thrive under him, then I'll have good things to say about him. So it's like I'm not just all together against him. Sure, there's things about him personally in his personal life that I can't stand. Pictures of him with Donald Trump and stuff like that. But if he's a good owner and we are successful and our ecosystem of our team is going well, you know what? I can't complain because that's what I care about as a Raptors freak is whether the Raptors are in the best position to try and succeed. And if he's holding us back, well, I'll get mad. But if he's not, and he's doing stuff like investing in the Blue Jays and get somewhere, well, let's do the same thing for our guys on our basketball team, the Raptors. That's right. That's what I'm saying right there. Respect to them. They get their flowers. That's right. That's right. Bodes well for the Raptors. Exactly. This is what Reggie and I are saying. We see the same thing. Fiercely saying this. So it's safe to say the Bucks don't have the eye to draft good and sustainable players. That should be an indicator to change the front office. Yeah, I mean, it's really weird. Like when I saw that stat yesterday, that the Bucks have failed to sign any of their draft picks after Antetokounmpo to a second contract and hang around. That's nothing coming out on the pipeline. So that's why it was so weird that they were holding on to the older guys that had played with Giannis for so long, like Portis and Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton and Pat Connaughton, because they weren't really refreshing their team underneath. You know, you got guys like Marjon Beauchamp, you got AJ Johnson who got traded. The list is crazy. DJ Wilson's on this list of a draft pick by Milwaukee, and we've seen DJ Wilson's path come through Toronto after Milwaukee. You know, Patrick McCaw is on this list. I mean, it's a crazy list. The draft picks that Milwaukee's drafted after Giannis that had not panned out and just gone somewhere else, or they've traded them or something. It's really bad look because, that's part of the problems with Milwaukee and part of why they've stumbled and why they've only gotten one championship with Giannis on their team. Only one. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Let's see. James is saying the Nets waived Kobe Buffkin. Some wanted him over Grady Dick. You know, this is another one. I'm going to say this right now. I was right again. Because the two names that I said were absolutely horrible players and will not make the league are both out of the league in like this. And Kobe Buffkin was one of the two names. Jordan Hood-Schifino was the other one. Those two guys, when I draft scouted them that year when we drafted Grady, I said neither one of these guys is going to make the league, and they're both a waste. And then look, I've been right. And I don't know how many years. This is like their third year coming in, so it took 2 years for those guys to get put out of the league. And I knew it. I called Buffkin right away. And everybody was saying, Kobe Buffkin this, Kobe Buffkin that, about drafting the Raptors. You were wrong, and I was right. Don't go near him because he can't even make the Nets. What the fuck is that? He can't even make the Nets. That's bad, man. Seriously, I'm starting to feel more and more astute. If I'm getting these ones right like this, like, no, that's a bust. Kobe Buffkin's a bust. Jordan Hood-Schifino's a bust. And, well, they're busting. They're busting. That's right. That's right. Milbester. All right. Now you can talk baseball all you want, Milbester. That's right. Good morning, Lex. Saw Game 7 ALCS last night. What a series. Postseason killer. Former Astro George Springer saved them with 3-run homer. Mariners had a good run. Congrats to the Jays for AL pennant. There you go. See, this is what Milbester wants. He just wants to watch good baseball. In some ways, it's not the outcome that he cares about at all. It's about seeing good baseball at this point. His team's not in it to win it. Well, he just wants to see good baseball. And in some ways, the Jays getting into the World Series is a good series, and better than Seattle versus Los Angeles, I would say. So, Milbester, you excited about the World Series? Let's go, Jays. That's right. Can you get behind us, or will you be with Ohtani? I don't know. Milbester saying, I told you, Lex, during the ALDS when the Jays beat the Yankees that with how I saw the playoffs was going, I had the Blue Jays-Dodgers World Series. There you go. Well, Milbester, you're a great prognosticator for baseball. I will give you a lot of respect and credit for your prognostications and knowledge of that sport. I know you know your stuff. Now we do. Got to congratulate the Mariners. They're a good team. Yeah, I'm just happy that we beat them, obviously, because, you know, we, like I said, we owed them a receipt from them putting us out in the wild card in recent years. And, I was worried that the Seattle Mariners pitchers just had the Blue Jays numbers because that was the pattern in some of the games in the regular season and also in that wild card series. And it looked like that at the beginning of the series also. It's just good that the Blue Jays circled back and got their bats booming, and we got it figured out. You lessen your errors. You lessen your stuff. I love the fact that they got a bunch of double plays in that very crucial game last week. Yeah, the Blue Jays deserve to win because in some ways the other team was making errors and we were making double plays. And that's pretty badass right there. That's pretty badass. He's saying for some reason he's not being named. His he shall not be named popped in my algorithm. Okay, I saw the headline, didn't watch, so it could have been clickbait. But the heading was Raptors send a strong message to RJ by not extending him. Shaking my head. That's what he's saying there. No, that's not a strong message. I don't think that RJ's deadline is exactly the same as Oshai's. This is just show how Robert's so stupid. They've not said anything about the deadline passing for RJ. I think the deadline for RJ is actually Halloween. So that'll just show you just how much fuckface you shall not be named knows what he's fucking talking about. I think RJ's deadline is actually on the 31st. So what a moron. Let's just put it that way. What a moron. He's making that already. It's just he's biting the chomp to make that. Has anybody else said that a deadline passed on RJ's extension? Nope. Grange hasn't said it. Lewinberg hasn't said it because it's a different deadline than Oshai's. It's actually the 31st. Dumbass, Pencer. Dumbass. And even if they don't extend RJ right then, there's an opportunity to get him at another point because he's actually under contract for next year also already. And we can just take his option. So I don't understand. Pencer's obviously such a Scotty stan that I don't understand why he's dissing RJ. Once again, I'm suspicious that this man is not actually a Raptors fan. He's just a Scotty fan first. And, anyway, I don't want to talk about it. All right, let's keep going. Stargate saying is Mel Bester in the chat? Yeah, he's here. You can see he's here. That's right. Raptors champs is saying this. The Raptors are waiting for Grady. It depends on his defense and endurance throughout the season. If it doesn't pan out, they'll go Oshai. Plus, they may keep RJ, so I see why they're indecisive. Well, this is smart because this season will amp up the competition if all the guys on the team are fighting for spots and the future being on the team. And in particularly Oshai, Grady, Jacoby, that kind of era. Now, Jacoby's a little different because he's behind with the other guys, and he may be more competing with his rookie class in some ways. But definitely Oshai and Grady, as two friends from Kansas, they're definitely kind of looking at the same spot. And I think that Raptors champs is exactly right. Bobby Webster wants to leave everything open and flexible because he wants the players to decide his decision for him. And he has to see what happens this year. And I think that Raptors champs is exactly right. It's dependent on Grady's strength and defense that he grows with this year. That's the stuff that will make him, more attractive to invest in long term. Grady's got to have a pretty consistent year. In some ways, you're right. I think that if Grady goes above and beyond, he shows he's going the right way, we'll invest in him. And it's not that Oshai's a backup plan. But if it does seem like by the end of the year, it's better to invest in Ochai Agbaji, well, that may be the guy that we're putting some money at in offseason next year in free agency. So I could see that. I think Raptors champs has got it exactly figured out. James is saying Tari Eason is interesting. Houston doesn't have any more money to spend. Would be a good add to our squad. I know, James, you just really want to fill this roster spot. Let's just wait. Let's be patient. I kind of like being light like this. We have so many good players on our team. They're going to have a hard time figuring out when people are going to get time anyway. So in some ways, we don't want to add another really big talent just to muddle it even worse. I think that being light like this is good for finances, like Bobby, what he's doing. And then also, things going to develop during the season and things could change in different ways. There may be other people, but I know it's kind of smart, James, that you do want to kind of go through what's the fit with this guy if he was this guy. I get why you do this. Because like Tari Eason is a talent, you're right. And he symbolizes, once again, a team like Oklahoma City or Brooklyn or the Rockets having too many draft picks in certain classes and just a glut of guys. And somebody's going to be the odd man out. And some of them may be good talents. And they got to go somewhere else. Josh Giddey, Oklahoma City, that's a good example of that. Tari Eason may be the guy out of all the young players there. And he's a quality guy. So he could be somebody that somebody seagulls and get on their team from this situation. I don't know the fit with our team. I mean, we got Julian Reese coming up through the thing, but they're similar position. But obviously, Tari Eason's of a higher skill level and probably way better than Juju Reese. So I don't know. The best is saying, but at least you didn't give up down 2-0, losing 2 games at home. But it's happened in postseason many times in MLB history. Mariners are a good young team with a bright future. They'll be back. Yeah, that you could definitely hang your head after losing 2 games in a row at home. But once again, everybody said that this series is not over. Take it one game at a time. and we did it the right way. The Blue Jays really did it the right way. They took it, they did it. In some ways, it was tough. I mean, they had to win a couple games in elimination situation, and they took care of business. So it's really, really, really good, really, really good. And that's the thing. You take it game by game and never get too down, because things can change real quick in postseason action. That's right. Man, I'm so happy, man. Milbester's saying, now Lex, we'll see my boy Vlad Jr. play against the best baseball player in Ohtani as Dodgers look to go back-to-back titles and repeat as champions with their quest of three-peat and dynasty. Yeah, fuck all that. Let's fuck that up. Toronto is a city that likes to break up dynasties. And we did that with the Golden State Warriors, even though they went and got one later. It was kind of weird, but we did kind of break up the Warriors dynasties. And then, hopefully we can do that with the Dodgers. Seriously, the underdog in this series obviously is the Blue Jays. But listen, we can do this. We can do this. Ohtani is a great player. I respect and honor how good he is and amazing he is, but he can still be beat, is what I'm saying right now. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. MLB history shows that bats that get hot, just like runs in basketball, will get you somewhere. And you may be down at home, but you're up away. And that's what happened here. That's right. Nako's saying PG equals IQ, Shed, Chucky, and Elijah. Yeah, that's the depth chart I'm seeing. Shooting guard, RJ, Jacoby, Grady, Oshai. That's not exactly right. AJ and Battle. That's not exactly right. Small forward, Brandon, Grady, Oshai, and Battle. Okay, you're putting guys down twice. Power forward, Scotty, CMB, Mobo, and centers, Jacoby and Sandro. We could probably use another small forward. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need anybody right now because we're healthy and we got like 17 players and all of them can play for us. We need time for the young guys. In some ways, we got the starters. In some ways, that's probably the reason why they're probably not going to fill the spot. Now, my lineups are this: the starters, IQ, RJ, Brandon, Scotty, and Yak. The second team in my eyes right now is Jamal Shed, Grady Dick, Oshai Abaji, Colin Murray Boyles, and Sandro Mamu is the second team right now. The third team right now is Chucky Hepburn, Jacoby Walter, AJ Lawson, Jamison Battle, and Jonathan Mobo. And then our two over players otherwise are Elijah Martin and Garrett Temple. So that's the way I look at the hierarchy of the team at this moment. As far as first, second, and third team, plus two guys as the 16 and 17. So that's the depth chart in my head right now, is what I see it. Is the starters, Shed, Grady, Oshai, Mamu, and CMB as the second team. And then the other guys, Hepburn. You saw what I said. Milbester saying, I got the World Series matchup that I wanted all playoffs long. And also, Lex, I could tell you 5 reasons why Mariners lost the game, middle of the game. Mismanagement by the Mariners manager, Dan Wilson. Okay. I don't know if I need the in-depth notes. I'll do the cliff notes. How about that? You brought up something that reminded me of something too. At the beginning of the year last year, I actually predicted the finals of the NBA as the teams that I wanted to get there. Seriously, we can go look at the receipts. When I was talking about who I want to be in the finals at the end of the year, I said Oklahoma City versus Indiana. I literally said that around this time last year. And it was partly because I saw the Oklahoma City Thunder as a rising team that was going to be very good this year. And I love SGA and Lou Dort, Canadians. And of course, I'm very partial to Siakam. And I didn't like anybody else in the East. So I was like, if there's a team in the finals for the East, I'd love for it to be Indiana because I like them. And that's why I said my favorite finals matchup is the Thunder versus the Pacers if the Raptors aren't going to be there. And well, that's what I got. And it was weird because I forgot about that. I was like, holy shit, you were kind of saying that at the beginning of the year last year, that I'd love to see the Thunder and the Pacers in the finals. And that's what we got. It was fantastic. So Milbester likes the Blue Jays Dodgers matchup in the World Series this year. That's right. He's also saying, now Lex, we'll see the future Hall of Famer Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, who both will go to the Hall of Fame. Will Smith, Max Muncy. I don't know who these guys are. You're going way too deep on me, man. I'm not doing that. Nago saying Buried and Gone. There was a sequel during the pandemic. Buried and Gone. What do you mean? Which one? What are you talking about? Buried and Gone. Buried and Gone. You mean the Warriors? That one championship by the Warriors afterwards, in some ways, is just like kind of like a thing that the NBA. It was a down year, and they just happened to come up and grab it. In some ways, it was manipulated. No, but we killed the dynasty at that time. The Warriors fans for a few years thought, yeah, we're totally done. And it's kind of stupid that they came back around and won one more. But also, we closed that building. We killed their building. Oracle died the day we beat them, and they demolished it after that. In some ways, they may have demolished it because they failed in that building. Either way, don't take away me saying we killed their dynasty, because everybody says that we killed the Golden State dynasty to a degree, even if they got one more afterwards. A few late, like it was like 4 years later. It wasn't that much after it. It was a while after it. Let's see. Stargate saying this: Nako, the shooting guard and small forward positions are interchangeable, so some of those players you have at shooting guard will play small forward and vice versa. Yeah. Raptors champs saying Bobby tapped into people's memory cell. Yeah, when he did the Borat, it's very cool. Like, seriously, it's deep. Y'all may need to watch that movie again just to get a refresher on why the USA is a dumpster fire. Seriously, it will teach you a lot about American ignorance and stupidity. Borat. It's a very, very important movie that's underrated. It's kind of been buried and gone, and nobody remembers it. Bobby did a great job doing Borat. And I'm telling you, that's a troll move. That was a troll move by Bobby. There's a lot of deep levels to him dressing as Borat and waving an American flag around, guys. If you really connect the dots, think about it. Really think about it there, man. G saying, Milbester, Bo will be back. I think the Jays have the advantage offense-wise, to be honest. I think people are really underestimating their bats. That's what people are saying, is that's why the Dodgers would probably want the Mariners, is because the Blue Jays offense is very daunting. And I love it. I hope that is exactly what happens, that they're booming them bats, and it looks real good. That's right. Milbester's saying, Lex, we'll see in this World Series why Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. You don't have to name all the Dodgers. I don't give a shit who they are. Fuck the Dodgers. Fuck Ohtani. Fuck Freddie Freeman. Fuck those guys. Didn't Freddie Freeman win a championship with the Braves a couple years ago? Yeah, fuck all those guys. Mookie Betts. Hired guns, paid at a high price by the Dodgers. Come here. You're mercenaries. We're going to pay you so much because we are just paying to win. We're like the West Coast Yankees. We're the team on the West Coast that's going to pay to win. And that's why we have Ohtani. That's why we have Mookie Betts. See, I would take what you're saying and turn it into a negative thing. It's like pay to win. You want to do it like the Yankees? You just buy all these big players and you outprice everything. You overpay so that other people can't pay the money that you can to compete because they're in a smaller market. Okay, Magic Johnson, Los Angeles Dodgers. Okay, I see what y'all are fucking doing there. That's what I'm saying. Dodgers lineup is good too, and Jace got average pitching. Well, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how it goes down. That's right. Dodgers have too much pitching. They ain't scared of the Jays. Okay, it sounds like Milbester's on the Dodgers side. Well, I expect anything less from a Yankees fan, honestly. That's fine. You don't want to stand with the American League. All right, Milbester, we see who you're rooting for. That's right. Adriana's saying, I was also turning into a pumpkin. That's right. She couldn't stay up and watch the game. I mean, she normally has to be bed somewhere in the 9 o'clock hour. So staying up for the whole Blue Jays game, it's just not happening. Monique is saying, again, they did the rookies dirty with the Teletubbies. No, it's so damn childish. I know. I agree with you. But in some ways, they also need to do this. These guys come in with egos from where they come from. Elijah just won a national championship with the Florida Gators. And in some ways, he has to understand his shit stinks. And that means like you're not the biggest and baddest and all this and all that, a bag of chips. You need to be shown, yeah, you know what? Humble yourself. You're a Teletubby. That's part of it. That's why they make them carry those Dora Explorer backpacks. Is don't think that you're too big for your britches just because you come from the places you come from and you're just a badass top dog. You're in the NBA now, and there's a different pecking order here. And in some ways, you need to humble yourself and understand this is what this league is. That's why they're Teletubbies. Even so stupid. I mean, one of the Bucks rookies had to listen. At least they didn't do this to our rookies. The Bucks, once again, we're shining a light on the Bucks and their weirdness. They made their rookie dress as a Teletubby in the arena in front of all the fans in a full arena, embarrassed their rookie there. Isn't that crazy? At least we had it at a private party and there's only pictures of them. But they paraded their rookie around in their court in Milwaukee in a Teletubby outfit. I don't disagree with you, Monique. I do not disagree with you. It is childish as fuck, honestly. G saying, well, people thought the Yankees and Mariners would win too, so whatever. That's right, Milbester. That's right. And that's coming from G. That's right. Snell and Yamamoto are Cy Young winners. All right, you're just like glazing the Dodgers. We're not doing this here. No. We're not. Listen, just because I'm not totally Blue Jays freak, I am still Blue Jays side, and I am for them. I'm Blue Jays fan. But we still have a rule. You can't glaze the opposition in here, man. Why are you glazing the Dodgers so hard here, man? You can hype up the matchup. You can talk about what is going on, but you're glazing, bro. You're glazing. You're glazing. Stargate saying, remember, a lot of those Raptors players played baseball in high school, particularly the American ones, so they know the game. Grady in particular. Grady was a shortstop. He actually got interviewed about this recently. He's done some pitching too. He was a pitcher for a little while, but he played shortstop in the field. Grady is a very good baseball player. In fact, I think his dad was a very good baseball player. He actually played football and baseball, his dad. So, yeah, Grady's got a real background in baseball. He understands it a lot. In fact, he's probably a very good baseball player, guys. Grady Dick. That's right. Milbester's saying, good game. The Dodgers just beat my Yankees in the World Series last year, and their entire lineup is the same team from last October. They're a deeper, experienced team. Dodgers lineup is all-stars. Yeah, but that's all. That's the Yankees. We're the Blue Jays. Let's go do things different. You can say this, too, about the Cavs, okay? Yeah, the Warriors, they're going to beat the Raptors because they can beat the Cavs because they have LeBron James, and they have such a good team. I was like, okay, you go ahead and tell me all this stuff. I can hear it. That 1 year more experience, all this kind of stuff. Okay, go ahead and tell me. All right. We'll see how it all plans out, and we'll see how it goes. That's right. So we're saying Dodgers wanted the Mariners because Seattle would be in a happy to be there mode. Yeah. Maybe some people are thinking we should just be happy to be there. No, we're not coming there for that. We're coming there for all. That's right. We're not coming there just for that. And I feel like the Blue Jays energy understands the assignment. They're not coming there just to get an appearance and feel good. Nope. Kaz is saying, good morning, Lex and Raptors Freak Tues. Good morning, Kaz. Good to see you. Our WNBA fantasy champion. Milbester saying, Lex, you know the Yankees lost the Dodgers in the World Series last year, and now your Blue Jays will see why the Dodgers are on another level in baseball. Y'all playing against a potential dynasty. Lex, keep glazing, Milbester. I'm going to start skipping your comments if you're too repetitive because you're being very repetitive right now. Keep glazing. My message is Dodgers are good. Dodgers are good. Dodgers are good. Dodgers are good. Okay, do you not understand? That's all you're sending me right now. Nako's saying we're still small at small forward. That's if that's our lineup, not the end of the world. We're not really small at small forward. Small forward's a position you're never small at because anybody can play a small forward. Small forward's right in the middle of the lineup. So you could, man, I could name 8 of our players that could play small forward. So it's like Scotty could play small forward. Brandon plays small forward. RJ plays small forward. Grady plays small forward. Oshai plays small forward. Jacoby plays small forward. AJ Lawson plays small forward. We could even put Sandra Mamu at small forward. I mean, we're not short stacked anywhere on a roster. There really isn't any immediate need to fill our roster spot, guys. There really isn't, and I don't expect them to. I don't think they will for at least a month or two. I think we're going to be running on this squad we've got right now for a couple months in the season, and Bobby's going to leave that spot open for flexibility. A lot of teams do this in the league, guys. There's teams in this league like last year that just run for a while with an open roster spot for flexibility. In some ways, they're trying to save money too. It's in the rules. They can do it. G saying Blue Jays have most hits in the league, most comebacks and home field advantage. Dodgers bought their all-stars, but doesn't mean it's a slam dunk they win. That's right. You got to play the games. And seriously, this energy that I'm feeling right now from Milbester and other people this is Golden State, Toronto 2019 energy right now. Yeah, it's everybody. All the extras say, "Oh, it's obvious on paper. The Dodgers are the better team. They're just going to win." A lot of people said the same shit when it came to the Warriors versus the Raptors in 2019 too. It's the same thing. That's right. Milbester's saying Freddie Freeman killed us in the World Series last year, and now you face him. You're trying to scare us? I don't give a shit. Once again, that's your team, and we put your team out. We're not your team. So pause, Milbester. Pause. You trying to intimidate me? You're trying, Freddie Freeman. Ooh, I'm so scared. Ooh. Well, you know what? I'm going to say something real quick. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Could you be mine, Milbester? Could you be in the World Series, Milbester? I've always wanted to be back in the World Series with the Blue Jays. I was always wanting to be there so I could say that we've won 3 rings, yay. Let's make the most of a World Series appearance. Blue Jays, let's kick the Dodgers' asses all over the place. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be a Vladdy World Series ring? Yes, Milbester. You trying to intimidate me? Oh, Tawny. Ooh. Ooh. Yee. Is this a spook house? Am I at Canada's Wonderland walking around seeing some people jump out at me? Wow. I'm Freddie Freeman. Woo. I'm Mookie Betts. Woo. Okay, Milbester. I'm scared. Ooh. Ooh. This is so stupid, man. Don't try and fucking scare me with shit. Because I don't know. Because I'm not a baseball freak. I don't care. All I do is blind faith that my Blue Jays are going to come and kick the Dodgers' ass in the World Series. Because we got home field advantage and we're a team of destiny, Milbester. And don't be salty because we put your ass out. That's what I'm saying right there. Ooh, just because the Yankees got beat means the Blue Jays going to get beat. No, we're not the Yankees, motherfucker. That's what I'm saying to you right now. That's right. Let's go. The Mariners radio crew call of Springer's home run, you could feel the pain in their voice. You were listening to the other side, and you're like, oh, yes, let me hear the tears in your voice. Smooth is enjoying this. He's very much enjoying this. What a ride for Reggie. I want to say this right now. Reggie is a trivia champion on our channel. Reggie has been a great Raptor freak for many years now. And let's just take a little moment to remember what happened this year. Earlier this year, Reggie was coming in and giving me my Blue Jays news because in some ways, Reggie is our Blue Jays guy. He's the guy who's keeping us up to date on everything that has to do with the Blue Jays because baseball is his sport. He loves the Raptors too. Don't get me wrong, but he really loves the Blue Jays. At the beginning of this year, the baseball season, there was a lot of talk about Vlad Guerrero Jr. and his contract. And I remember a day earlier this year where Reggie was in his feelings because it was very confusing what Vladdy Jr. was going to do. And in some ways, Toronto was bracing for losing their franchise player. And it was ugly. It was bad. And I felt so bad for Reggie earlier this year. I had a place in my heart for him that I was trying to send healing energy because they were going through it. So diehard Blue Jays fans were confused. There was a weird thing about not agreeing to this and then being in limbo and then this. And then all of a sudden, boom, he does sign a mammoth contract for a decade to stay on the team. And it was like, yes. Was like that. But I remember that period of time of uncertainty that Smooth Brown Man went through earlier this year. And I'm so happy to see it get to this point in October that we're in this position going in the World Series for Blue Jays fans because y'all went on a ride earlier this year with that whole thing with Guerrero and his contract situation and the overtures coming from places where Milbester roots were kind of fucking up and clouding the situation. Oh, no, you come to New York, be a Yankee, all this and that. And people were really wondering whether they liked Vlad anymore, if he was going to stab us in the back and take off. Well, true colors prevail, and blue and white are those colors. And those colors have gone all the way now to the World Series. And this is a beautiful, glorious ride that people like Reggie need to savor and enjoy. Doug Smith say, enjoy this one. It may not happen for a while. Fuck you, Doug Smith. I want to see Vlad Guerrero Jr. become a dynasty like Milbester is glazing the Dodgers about for doing. Seriously, there's no reason why the Blue Jays can't try and become a powerful force in the Major League Baseball in the years to come very soon. If they win the World Series tonight, I'd love to see them go get it next year too. So that's what I'm saying. Anything is possible because look at where Reggie was earlier this year and where he was thinking about Vlad Jr. at a certain period of time, and look where we are now. And specifically, I salute you, Reggie, Smooth Brown Man, for being a diehard Blue Jays fan, for helping us be informed about the Blue Jays here, and for you going through this ride this year. It's a glorious ride. It's a glorious ride. You keep riding all the way to the win, to the championship. That's right, Smooth. That's what I'm saying for you right now. That's what I'm saying right now. Yeah, Freeman plays for Canada in the World Cup in honor of his mother. See, I like that. I've heard that about Freddie Freeman plays for Canada, Team Canada. That's awesome. And I like Freddie Freeman. I'm not getting wrong. I was like going crazy right now. It's more me reacting to Milbester trying to scare us. I really am happy about Freeman winning with the Braves because my little brother and his son were a big part of the Braves World Series championship that they got in recent years. They went to the parade and they went to the games and they really enjoyed that championship when the Braves won the last time. So, and Freddie Freeman was a big part of that. So I can kind of like Freddie Freeman the most out of all the Dodgers. I'll just say that. Let's see. Milbester saying, good game. They won the World Series last year. I saw them beat okay, yeah, you're just saying the same damn shit. I'm keeping going. You're going to name the roster. I'm going to skip all of this, what you just said, man. I'm just going to skip all of this, man. Because you're just repeating yourself, bro. All you're saying is you're glazing the Dodgers and you're saying they're a dynasty and that you think that they're going to keep winning and all this kind of stuff. None of this is important. You've already made your points, man. And honestly, it's just your own what you're seeing in your own mind. And I understand you know baseball, but once again, we know that things don't always go exactly how you think. Not saying Dwight Goodman from Dodgeball. That's the name of the character that Ben Stiller played, that Jamal Shed was impersonating the other night. Let's see. Stargate saying, what? Nets waive Kobe Buffkin? Yeah, I remember when all these Raptor fans wanted the Raptors to pick him up in the draft. Now look, I know. And I called it at that time. Stargate said, no go on Buffkin. No go on Buffkin. Boom. Lex is right. I don't know. Is Milbester's good at baseball? Lex is good at basketball. That's right. That's right. Isaac saying, Ming is Nefala Raptors coach. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is not one of the players. Thank God. I'm glad it wasn't. And thank you, Isaac, for information. So Ming is Naufal Folahan. He's a Raptors coach. Shame on you, bro. You're an idiot. And Jamal Shed is right. Isaac, you're getting a big dunk for information. In fact, I'm going to give you a 10-point dunk right now because I want to know. Actually, it'll be 9. I'll round it to 3. Yeah, I wanted to know who this was. And you gave me it's 86 for you on the charts now. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. So it was an assistant coach that wore that. Thank God it wasn't one of the players. Really, really poor choice of costume. And why the fuck did that get second place? Seriously, that don't make no sense. Yeah, Ming is one of the assistant coaches. Okay, poor choice. Very, very poor choice. And I've never heard this guy's name or who this guy was. And this is your first impression on me, bro? Nah, fuck you. Fuck you, Ming. I'm going to say that. Ming the Merciless, fuck you. Let's get Flash Gordon to beat your ass, motherfucker. That's right. Don't you fucking wear authoritarian bullshit at a Raptors Halloween party like that, motherfucker. That's what I'm going to say to that motherfucker right there. That's right. Randolph saying, Lex, I hope our front offices turn the corner on holding on to players for too long, hoping they will become NBA players. I hope our front offices turn the corner on holding on to players for too long. I mean, the last group we had to hold on to really kind of see through. And Masai did admit he held on to OG and Fred and Pascal longer than he had to. But in some ways, he was giving them a chance because of the Tampa year. Because in some ways, like they didn't really get a fair shake from Tampa and being away for that season. So there was a period of time where maybe they should have said goodbye to them a little earlier, but they let it go a little further. And that first half of the season for Darko was that period. Like, I get when people say this and they think that we hold on to players for too long, but really was a respect shown to Siakam and Van Vliet and Anunoby at that time to really give them absolutely chances to do things to be successful and make their era still, but it just wasn't working. And it's Nick's fault, a lot of it. So, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying this, but Masai very clearly said why he held on to those guys too long. It was because he respected them and he appreciated them and he wanted to allow them to really get their wishes, which was all those guys wanted to stay in Toronto. None of them really wanted to go anywhere. None of them. Freddie, OG maybe wanted to go somewhere, but Pascal and Fred did not, and Norman didn't either. And as champions of our team, Masai wanted to respect them and give them a little bit more time. I think that's really what it was. Milbester saying, Lex, Blue Jays started from the bottom. Now they're here. That's right. Okay, Milbester, you get a dunk for that, even though it's a Drake reference. I'll give you a dunk for that. I agree with that. They did start from the bottom. Now they're here. Because nobody thought they'd be here, did they? But then again, that's just Toronto sports. And you're two teams and leagues that have no other Canadian teams. They get dissed. They get looked down on. They don't get picked. They get overshadowed. They get maligned. They get misperceived. These are all things like that. Trevor saying New York Knicks coach was a Boston Celtics. Give advice. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. Thank you, Trevor, for the card. I'm going to give Trevor a dunk for his cue cards. They're on point because he's hitting topics that I talked about yesterday in the chat on Discord, and I wanted to bring them up today. So, Trevor, you're going to dunk for this one. Tom Thibodeau was at practice for the Celtics yesterday, guys. Yeah. And this is amazing. What he did was he basically told Jaylen Brown his game plan for how he'd stopped him in the playoffs last year as the Knicks coach. And Jaylen Brown is saying, man, it's so awesome to have Coach Thibodeau here because he just illuminated a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't realize This is so bad for the Knicks in some ways. It's bad for the whole league, honestly, in some ways, because Thibodeau is, they didn't show any loyalty to him. In some ways, he's stabbing this Knicks in the back by going to work with the Celtics like this and like giving them all their playbook from how they defeated them last year. It's not that the Celtics had the personnel to be a real contender this year or do major things. It's just the whole idea of it. The Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau, and well, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. So he showed up in Boston yesterday, and he gave the whole game plan to the Celtics that he used with the Knicks to beat the Celtics in the playoffs last year. So yeah, that's pretty interesting news right there, honestly. And Trevor, thank you once again for holding that card. That's right. Raptors champ saying Raptors pride. That's right. That's right. Have pride in your team. Believe in winning. Don't believe the bullshit, the losing culture bullshit, the Barney shit. Everybody perceives the Raptors as, oh, they're an irrelevant team. Bullshit. We're not irrelevant. And we're going to show you how relevant we are this year with Brandon Ingram. That's right. That's right. Wayne Strainer's here. Good morning, Sergeant at Arms, Wayne Strainer. Morning, Raptor Freaks. Best of October is starting. Fantastic. Expecting enjoyable evenings watching competitive matchups, Lex. Jays lost games and you didn't watch. You have nothing to do with the games. It's just a dumb superstition. I get what you're saying. You really got to understand the history of this. Like when I was younger, I could watch them and it was fine. But there was a period of time in the 2000s where I realized whenever I was watching them, it'd be really weird. It'd be stuff like, I go to a family get together in Oakville where my cousins live, and they have a really nice house and they live next to each other. They're sisters. And I'll go there and they'll have the Blue Jays game on because my uncle and my cousins are very big baseball fans for Blue Jays. And they'll literally be winning. And then I'll arrive and I'll come into the room and the other team will hit a bunch of home runs and they'll lose the lead. Like there's a real pattern for this. This is not something I know, and this is superstition. This is all bullshit too at the same time. But there's a real pattern of evidence for me that has told me this is what I need to do to help the Blue Jays. There was a game that Adriana and I went to in the last 2 years at Rogers Center, and we had really good seats and this 200 level in the new really fixed up part that's behind home plate. And I started getting annoyed because there were people that were overly drunk near us. They were drinking their faces off. And the Blue Jays were losing, to be honest. They had been losing the whole entire game. And I was like, I don't want to be here anymore, Adriana. My tolerance for being around a lot of people, especially very drunk people, is very low. So I asked her if we could leave. And we left in like the sixth or 7th inning. Well, the Blue Jays were losing by a lot when we left. We're in the cab and we're on our way back, and they start booming their bats, and they take the lead and win the game by the end of it. So it's just there's weird evidence that tells me, Lex, you need to ignore the Blue Jays to help them. The other time that this happened was I was working in a bar on King Street when the Blue Jays were in the playoffs the last time with Donaldson and those guys. And I didn't pay attention to them all season. And then I started to watch them in the playoffs. And that's when everything went south for them. And they went out that year. That's really the reason why I'm not watching them now, is because I felt like, man, I don't want to watch this because I feel like when I watch them, they start losing. So this is really why. I know you're right, Wayne. You're exactly right. And this is superstitious, stupid stuff. But in some ways, if we can do it and it works, I'll do it. That's what I'm saying. But best just saying, Lex, I'll be rooting for the Jays to beat the Dodgers. Okay, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like you very much kissing the ass of Ohtani and them right now. After they beat my Yankees in the World Series, go kick their asses. They're a dynasty and superstars and legendary Hall of Famers. I think that what I need to discern is that Milbester's an expert on baseball, and his professional expert opinion about baseball. He's saying that we're not the favorite, that this team is a very good team, and that they've shown it because they've won a couple of World Series in a row already, and we need to be ready for that. Yeah, I like that. I would also say in stats, a team has to lose and win somewhat on both sides. Maybe the Dodgers have won a couple and they're due to lose one this year. That's what I say. But Milbester, salute. All right, so you're going with the American League, and you in some ways you also understand that if the Blue Jays beat the Dodgers, it makes the Yankees look better too. In some ways, it does. Although it doesn't, because they lost to them last year to the Dodgers. I don't know. It's a two-edged sword. In some ways, it makes them look better because the eventual World Series winners beat them. Then it's two ways to look at it. Fiercely saying BI and IQ have dealt with crazy media before in New York and Los Angeles. They catch the media's baiting attempts. Yeah, that's part of the media training that these guys have to go through is, agents and teams will go over with people on the teams like Scotty. He had the media training very early. If they ask you this kind of question, don't answer it this way and don't do this and don't answer it this way. Nick, who works with Scott, has very much helped him train him. And if they ask you a certain question about your teammates like this, if they ask you a certain question about other teams and whether you would want to play for other, this is how you handle all this shit, because you don't want to step in a minefield of bullshit just because you said something in an interview and everybody takes it the wrong way. I think that that's part of the whole problem with this whole thing with Brandon Ingram and what he said about the crowds. Everything Brandon said was truthful and fair. In some ways, the Raptors crowds come to the games, even if we win hardly any games in the season. Whether we're winning or losing, Raptors fans come and sell out our arena on the regular. New Orleans, you guys do not do that. You do not. Now, some of the New Orleans Pelicans fans have made the counterpoint that their arena is bigger, and that's why they don't sell out as much as we do, and that they actually average more of an attendance down there. That's bullshit. You guys know that you're fucking lower than us on the attendance charts. You do not have more people coming in than we do. I've seen games on TV at your arena that have been extremely empty also. Games where we've come through and played in New Orleans where it looks like there's hardly anybody in there. So don't give me this shit, Pelicans fans. What Brandon said is fair, and what he said is just, even if it hurts your damn feelings. Maybe you should go and support your team better, is what I would say, instead of crying about him saying something that is true. And that's all I got to say about that. In some ways, he's getting pissed off at people because they're bringing it up. Like Kayla Gray brought it up after the game the other night, and they're doing the post game, and everybody misread it as Brandon's mad because of something, or he's mad in Toronto. No, Kayla brought up the whole crowd thing with New Orleans again, and Brandon's like, just bury this shit. I don't want to have to talk about this over and over again. I made it very clear in the article with Mark J. Spears that I didn't mean no shade on New Orleans. I love my teammates that I had in New Orleans. They're my good friends, Trey Murphy, Jose Alvarado, all those guys. And I do love the city. And a lot of the real true Pelicans fans are coming out saying, listen, stop dissing Brandon. Brandon was one of the first people that actually rode for us for real on our franchise. Not many people have come here and been respectful towards New Orleans Pelicans. Hello, it's in the name. It's hard to respect. And he actually came and showed up and played hard for us and tried to build our culture and our field. So stop coming at Brandon for this, is what real Pelicans fans are saying right now. And it's true. And the other way is like some of the Pelicans fans aren't that upset that he's in Toronto, because in some ways they want him a chance to go do some stuff and have a successful thing because they like him. So it's weird. I mean, people get butthurt about like all kinds of stuff. I mean, we get mad about people talking about customs. So, I mean, I understand why Pelicans fans got upset about it, but in some ways, Brandon's just speaking truth. You can't get mad at him for speaking truth, can you? Seriously. Kareem saying this, Lex, if I give you 2 letters, can you name me that song? Do da 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 da. No, man, listen, you got to have like the beats and how I got to say them. I can't understand this from this. All right, let me see. Da 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 da. Nah, there's no way. That's just yes in Russian to me right there. That's right. Let's see. I said a couple of weeks ago, this is going to spark up another Drake versus Kendrick beef, laugh out loud. Oh, why? Because it's LA versus Toronto in the World Series. This Blue Jays versus Dodgers is a Drake versus Kendrick thing again now, all of a sudden. Do we need to keep fanning the flames on a stupid ass thing like this? A fiercely saying, question for you, Lex. Do you believe the Raptors coaching staff would have developed Bufkin and Hood Schifino had they had ended up with us? I'm still very happy and positive about Grady. I mean, I'm not going to just say that we could have, because I would say this. The reason why I didn't like those 2 players is because they didn't translate to the NBA game. But once again, I'm going to say this. There's a lot of things people can do at the college level that just won't translate. And some of it has to do with size and speed. And these guys had an in-between game. They weren't really good shooters. They were both kind of like Lonzo Ball kind of players. Guys that were kind of big shooting guards that like to drive and like to do things like to get their offense. In some ways, they didn't know where to go to get that offense in the NBA. It's a very like hard place to score in the paint. In the college, they can find all kinds of cracks and get through things. This is part of the reason why I'm worried about Elijah Martin. Is in some ways Elijah Martin. Your question right here, Fiercey. Well, you're asking me this. Well, look at Elijah, because Elijah, in some ways, he's shorter than Buffkin and Jordan, but he has some of the same issues that I'm worried about not translating to being an NBA player. It's a smaller size and certain things, but at your size and height, you're supposed to play a certain archetype to stay in the league. And if you don't pass and make assists, you may not be in the league for long. And, you know, with those guys, Hood Schifino and Buffkin, I saw two guys that were slasher scorers that get a lot of their scoring from drives and trying to just elude people in the paint. I knew they're going to get bodied and blocked by a bigger league in the NBA, and they weren't going to be able to do jack shit at this level. So in some ways, when I scouted Grady, I saw the same thing. I'm not going to lie. So there is a little bit of a comparison there. Like I was like, this is why my initial scout on Grady Dick was he's not going to be a good NBA player, is because I thought that a lot of stuff wouldn't translate, but he proved me wrong. And Bobby and Masai knew better than I did. And they looked at him and they saw the intangibles other than his 3-point shot that actually he could get to. And also, I didn't estimate that Grady would grow and be taller too. So the height thing for Grady is a thing that he has over those other guys too. But it's an interesting thing because it really is. It's not a given that a college player is going to translate. I'm telling you right now, Reed Shepherd. And what's going to happen is people are going to see them fail at the bigger level when they try and do what they did in college on the bigger level, because it doesn't always translate. And it's proven by Jordan, Hood Schifino, and Kobe Buffkin. Yeah. G saying this, I have been a big critic of Rodgers, but he gave the trophy to Shapiro right away and did not make it about himself at all, which I was pleasantly surprised with. You know, listen, if he's coming around, listen, there is DNA in his body that is his father's. And if he can be older and mellower in age as he gets older, you know, you're the king. You conquered the sports world in Toronto, Ed. You have nothing to prove. If you're a smart guy and you're intelligent, you can become a benevolent person that everybody loves more and more, like your dad, Ted Rogers II. There's a reason why your dad has that statue out there. And it's not just because of nepotism and you putting it out there. No, he deserved that statue because he was a great leader in the community of Toronto. He's a person that provided jobs, and he was a benevolent person. He cared about his employees. In some ways, I wish you would be more like that, like your dad. And it's not too late. You've been kind of cutthroat and really the worst kind of capitalist you can be as an oligarch. But if you can show a side of yourself that is benevolent and giving and kind, you know, you can win a lot of favor. And who knows, maybe you could end up with your statue out there next to your dad's. Because it's not just about business. It's not just about winning in business and conquering everything like some motherfuckers really think in this world. It's about being humanistic and being a good person and being a good leader and being somebody who cares about your community. And that's the disconnect in your family, Ed Rogers III, is that you lost the plot at some point that your dad had given your family somewhere and went against your sisters and your mom. And well, I know your mom's gone now, and that's sad and that's tragic. But if you can heal things with your sisters, get them more involved again in the organization, and actually listen to the ones that have kind hearts and are looking out for your employees, I think you would be better and more happier and more well-rounded as a person. Seriously, you've conquered. You came and conquered. What do you have to fucking do at this point? Make people like you. Make people care about you and think, I love Ed Rogers III. You want people to say that, right? Well, this is a good first step. Being humble on the court, on the field, in this way, like you know, they're saying, G's saying here, you know, this is a good first step because in some ways you want to be liked like your dad was, right? And you're not totally. Now, some of the signs of what you're doing with your company right now, cutting jobs for AI, that's not the right direction. In some ways, you may need to figure out how you can be a philanthropist, a humanitarian, and a community leader like your dad was. And more in that tip. As you get older, what do you need to prove? You don't need to you want to buy the Buffalo Bills next and move them to Toronto? I don't know. For the most part, you know, you already made so much money. What are you going to do? Give back to the community. Be an influence and a role model for other people in that kind of way. It's not about red or blue. It's not about liberal or conservative. It's not about any of that shit. It's about being a human being and giving back to the community and making the community a healthy ecosystem. Because I think at the end of the line, Ed Rogers III, what you want is customers. You want consumers. You want people to buy your cable. You want people to come to your games. Well, if nobody has no money to spend because everybody's so greedy at the top, there's not a healthy ecosystem. And in some ways, you squeeze the common person dry so much they can't buy houses, they can't have children because they can't afford it. You're killing the future. You want people to have expendable income. You want people to have the ability to go to games and enjoy themselves. I mean, we're looking at prices for the World Series games is like $450 for the 500 level. You're making money, but you need the future. You need more people to buy your products. Well, they can't have children if they can't afford them, or they can't afford a house, or they're homeless or somewhere. In some ways, we need to have a healthy ecosystem in society and stop the greed, is what I'm saying right now. Yeah, because you're going to kill your own gig eventually if nobody has any money and they're not coming to anything and they can't spend jack shit. That's it right there. That's it right there. Fiercely saying this: if 3 players were drafted, they had potential. Oh, if these players were drafted, they had potential. But I believe the coaching is extremely valuable in developing further and unlocking additional potential: mentality, playmaking, culture, teaming. Yeah, there's only so far that can do. Once again, if a player is an identity and they have a way they play and it's really kind of static, and in some ways they're stubborn and they don't really want to try and change or be versatile or do this or, they're not going to have a place in the NBA, especially if their game is not catered to it. So you can't coach everybody into being in the NBA. Some people's player build just does not fit. And they could be coached and tried and do this and try that, and it still doesn't work. So you can't just coach anybody to make it. So there can be very talented people that don't make the NBA because they don't fit the NBA game. And that's just it. W Stream, W Vibes. Thank you, Monique. I am over 2 hours. Appreciate you producing the show and helping me with the cutoff. Keep at it, Lex. Always Raptors Freak Crew strong forever. Just helping me limit the comments. That's right. Time to shock the NBA, Raptors, and we will. That's right. Tomorrow, Atlanta Hawks preview. Tomorrow, I will do the ref report for the first game of the season opener against the Atlanta Hawks. If you noticed, today's trivia was all on season opening wins. The Raptors, in 30 seasons of playing, have 18 opening wins of the season. You do the math. That's a higher than losing percentage for 30. So yeah, they're 18-12 in opening games of the season. Yeah, so let's go Raptors. Let's start the season right. Let's get a victory in Atlanta against a team that just got thrown together and may not have gelled very well at all. And we can catch them while they're trying to gel right now under Quinn Snyder, the Atlanta Hawks. I believe that is part of what I'll be saying tomorrow on the preview. That's right. King is here. Good to see To The Points, King. What's up, Freak Nation? Let the dick grow this team. All right. Pause. That's a strike, bro. You can't just come in and say this right like that, man. Come on now. This is a little bit of it's not totally a kid's channel, but still, man. Whoa, bro. Come on now. You save that stuff for your channel, my guy. I saw your message, but I got it late. I'm pretty busy this week. I don't know if I can do it right away, Brian, but I will try and make an appearance on your show very soon. But yeah, I saw your message late. I didn't see it until like in the evening, and it was kind of too late to message you back. Mischief saying this. Good to see the base man. When Springer hit that home run, it reminded me of the Joe Carter home run to win the playoff series in 92 or 93 World Series. This is a real treat for Raptors Freak fans. Nonstop, steady entertainment. Now, this is a great buoyancy to sports fans in Toronto as a city. With the Raptors and the Leafs start their season, and the Blue Jays are still going right now. Blake Murphy lamenting on Blue Skies this morning. Guys, I'm going to be a little late to get to my Raptors coverage because I have to continue to do Blue Jays coverage. He was fully expecting to go straight on the Raptors with the season starting tomorrow. But no, he has still work to do for the Blue Jays in the World Series. And I am so happy you do, Blake Murphy. Him and Grange have a new article out on Sportsnet. Going over 26 people around the NBA that are going to define the season. And Brandon Ingram is one of their picks as far as who's going to define the NBA season this year. People like Mike Brown and Giannis and LeBron and Adam Silver, along with Brandon Ingram on that list. That's right. James is saying this. NBA fantasy starting today. Adjust your lineups. That's right. Good heads up, James. And we'll see how that goes this year. Good luck to all the managers. And thank you for playing the Raptor Freak Fantasy NBA League this year. Brian saying, I swear my dad is digging himself out of his grave to watch the World Series. Let's go, Blue Jays. Wow, he must have been a really diehard fan. I'm sorry. That was in poor taste. I'm sorry. Wayne Strainer saying, our front office choice of players are complete until the next phase of the season when we will assess the players' outputs. Very happy they are good at what they do. Some seem to think they need help from fans. I know. I love Wayne regulating. This is why he's the sergeant at arms. He's like, y'all, listen, pause. You may have all kinds of transactions and trade machine ideas that you've been putting through the machine. But Bobby Webster is the GM. Let's keep the title on the guy, and he's going to do what he's going to do. And none of us are to tell him how to do his job. We just are here to see what he does and enjoy the entertainment of being Raptors fans. And that's how I look at it. I react on this channel. In some ways, I'll make suggestions, but I'm never, ever a diehard saying, you have to do this, Bobby. But I say, you know what? I think you should maybe do this. Maybe this could work. And then I like to react to what he does. And I really do feel like he's going to hold off on filling that last roster position for a while. Milvester is very salty. I don't know if he's salty. He's kind of looking at it all like from a very clinical perspective about how to kind of analyze the matchup with the Jays and the Dodgers. In some ways, I don't think he's being salty. He's giving a lot of respect to what the Dodgers have accomplished in the last couple of years. I think that's what it is. Fiercely saying, Kareem Thomas left out. The glazing is intense. Yeah, that was true. That's true. It's like in a kiln there. Read the room, Milvester. Thank you for the reminder, James. I've adjusted my lineup. There you go. I like that. Reggie's saying, kind of surprised the Yankee is rooting for the Dodgers. He's not. No, he's clarified that he isn't. That he just was going on. He wants us to. He's giving us the scout on them, basically. And he's like saying, this is what you can expect, Lex, as somebody who doesn't really watch baseball. The Dodgers are serious, and look out. Is basically what he's saying. Let's see. Fiercely saying, like him or not, Westbrook trained yesterday with the Kings, and it was nice to see how joyful and happy he was. A true baller experience, all opportunities to play. All right, here's a really interesting article that's come out, and this is a true article. This one about the Lakers, and it's about LeBron and Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis. And the Lakers, all right. It's a crazy article. In some ways, it'll tell you everything that I've said about the Lakers over the last few years is absolutely true. And Russell Westbrook is got a problem with LeBron James. Let's just put it that way. That was part of the issues with the toxic around the Lakers when Russell was there with LeBron. Apparently, all right, this article basically talks about Will Smith, the actor, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was just after he slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. He was around the Lakers at practice one day, and the Lakers wanted to have him come in and do a question and answer with the players to talk about success. They wanted him to come in and kind of like be a speaker, like we see teams do all the time. George St. Pierre came and talked to the Raptors, stuff like that. Well, apparently the Lakers were all in a room and waiting for Will Smith to come in, and LeBron at some point sitting in the room said, do I really need to be here for this? And he got up and left. And then Anthony Davis said, yeah, do I need to be here either? And he got up and left. And Russell's sitting in the room waiting well, am I supposed to get up and stand? Can I leave too? And Patrick Beverley turns to him because he's on the team at the same time. And you know how Patrick Beverley is. No, man, you can't leave because you ain't won a championship. But those two have. Russell got mad. Russell wanted to leave the room. He's like, well, if LeBron doesn't have to be here, why the fuck do I have to be here? So it caused a big problem, and Rob Pelinka and the Lakers were kind of trying to put it out. Russell was getting mad, and he was arguing with Patrick Beverley in that room. Like Patrick Beverley was shooting his mouth off and saying, yeah, you're not like them. You don't have no ring. What is that? And Russell's like, shut the fuck up, man. I averaged a triple-double. I'm a Hall of Famer. I've done this. I've done that. I should be equal to them. And, well, what happened was Rob Pelinka went and got LeBron and Anthony Davis to come back and be a part of this little seminar with Will Smith, who hasn't even come in the room yet, guys. And LeBron came back in and Anthony came back in. And he's like, okay, everybody's here. Russell, don't worry. It's fine. Now, apparently what happened was Will Smith came in the room. He did his little inspirational speech telling the Lakers this and this. You guys are going to be good and all this stuff. This is what I did. Philly, blah, blah, blah. Bel-Air, blah, blah, blah. Rap, DJ Jazzy Jeff, blah, blah, blah. All that shit. And they had a question and answer period after that. Well, LeBron monopolized the whole damn question and answer period. He didn't let anybody else talk. And he basically had a personal conversation with Will Smith in front of everybody. And he was just going on and on about his career and asking him all these questions about his movies and stuff like that. He wouldn't let anybody get in, move edgewise. It pissed Russell off. He was like, what the fuck? You didn't even want to be in here. And now you're monopolizing and taking up the whole entire time that we have with Will Smith. Nobody else can ask a question themselves. So that was part where Russell Westbrook apparently lost all respect for LeBron James because he just didn't read the room. His ego's too big, and he's on a different level of everything from every one of his teammates, and he resented him for that. So, and there's other stuff like Russell said that like LeBron would walk around with a copy of Malcolm X's book or something like that, just to act like he's reading and act like he's doing stuff. And then he would say he's a fan of a movie, and then Russell would ask him, well, what about this part in the movie? And LeBron would know what he's talking about. So he was like basically like LeBron's a fake and he's full of shit and he's an egomaniac and all this stuff. This is an article that's out that Russell talked about with this time in the Lakers. And it illuminates a lot. I knew it was very stratified with LeBron is just king and above everybody, and he doesn't have to do jack shit that all the other guys have to do all the time. I mean, it's exemplified in asking DeAndre Ayton this preseason, have you worked out and practiced with LeBron and Luka yet? And he said, no, I look forward to doing that. It's probably because LeBron doesn't come to that shit. He doesn't put in the time. He's not like Scotty Barnes. He's not like Brandon Ingram in those kind of ways. You know, you want your leader to be bought in and a part of the team and showing he's a part of the team, but he's detached. And this has been a huge part of this, the misery and sadness around the Lakers is that LeBron is too stratified and he does not make a good team environment. He's toxic. And if a Hall of Famer like Russell Westbrook has no respect for him from the inside like this, with this story, well, you see the whole picture is painted and how it is. It is very interesting. If you guys want to read this stuff, it's out there and you can see it. It just came out in the last couple of days. And it's an interesting story and you get to learn a lot. I have more respect for Russell in some ways for how he felt about this and this whole situation. It's really crazy, man. It's really interesting. Yeah, let's see. Smooth saying maybe it's anti-Canadian bias. No, it's not that. Milbester, in some ways, he's rooting for us. He is. He's saying also George Springer is third all time in postseason home runs. He did this for years with the Astros when they went to multiple World Series when they were really good around Jose. Yeah. So hopefully Springer will continue his excellence in his later career now for the Blue Jays. Yeah. If he's been there and done that, this is great. This is the kind of stuff you need, like Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green on a championship team for the Raptors in 2019. You need people who've gotten there and know how to get there. And George Springer's gotten there. So he can help the Blue Jays. This is good. Yeah, happy for Smooth. I'm very happy for Reggie, too. I'm happy for all the very big time Blue Jays fans. Enjoy this. You guys deserve this so much. And we're going to go get it. Let's go, Blue Jays. That's right. We're going to go get it. I'm still wearing my World Series 1992 shirt underneath this jacket right now. That's from 1992, guys. That's right. It's older than you, Milbuster. That's right. The shirt's older than you. Now you guys see Springer, how he killed my Yankees all those years we faced them. Okay, yeah, he was big time in helping us in the game yesterday. That's right. Smith saying, thanks, Lex. I'm like Milbuster when it comes to baseball. That's right. Really appreciate the kindness, man. Well, seriously, I just want to recognize your journey and understand, you know, this is the reality of this year for our friend Reggie. And, you know, he's a Raptors freak die hard for he's Blue Jays freak also. And I appreciate him being for Toronto sports. And even if he's more of a baseball fan than basketball, he's always welcome in my book, especially as a Raptor Freak Trivia champion and a longtime member of this channel. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Let's see. Kaz is saying salute the Smooth Brown Man. That's right. It's Odyssey. And if anybody, I've been thinking about the Blue Jays all year, it's been through Reggie's mind. That's right. When I think about the Blue Jays, I think about Smooth. And I say, I want Smooth to be happy. And I want them to be doing good things. I'm going to give him another dunk. Why not? 187. 187 on the dunk charts for Reggie. That's right. He's getting up there with Kareem and Seymour. It's pretty cool, man. Previously saying proof of a positive and supporting mindset can help our team rise up and achieve big things. That's right. If you want to add the pessimism of the Leafs nation, you will lose every time. That's why you have to allow for success and open up your mind to it. And that's the thing right there. That's it. That's right. Milbest just saying, Lex, you know, baseball is very sabermetric and analytic. That's right. This era of the game, I always measure games by it a bit, but I see the players and qualities they bring. You know, you can do metrics and all that stuff. There's a lot of criticism in the NBA of people who rely on analytics too much, that maybe there's a balance. And I feel like there's still some truth to this because there's intangibles. There's kind of X factors. There's, you know, hot streaks and cold streaks. And we can look at all the stats and really kind of see the measuring out of the equalization over time, but in a short period of time. Metrics cannot be very good to kind of tell you the story because things can be aberrations in short periods of time when it comes to data. So yeah, we'll have to see, Milbester. I understand if the analytics say this and that, but that doesn't always mean that's the way it works because it has to happen on the field. It has to happen on the court in between the lines. That's right. That's right. Thank you to Kaz from Smooth. Kareem saying, isn't it crazy that we tried to sign Hernandez, Betts, and Otani? I think the Blue Jays was just being used as leverage. We were, and the only person they wanted was paid $500 million. Now we are in the chip. That's right. Yeah, no, that's very true. And this is something that's been done with us with the Raptors too. Is we've been used as leverage in certain situations, and the Kawhi situation is definitely one of them with the Clippers. And what happened with Kawhi's decision to go to the Clippers? They were using Uncle Dennis and Kawhi were using the Toronto Raptors as leverage to jack up Steve Ballmer's package for him. And that's part of how he got Paul George traded for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So, yeah, this is something that happened in baseball, too. The Otani thing is definitely one of them. Definitely one of them. That's right. Kaloy's here. Morning, everyone. Super Otani, you are next. There you go. Let's go, Kaloy. Good to see you. Santino has a super crazy sleep habit that keeps me up all night. I'm always late to streams these days. It's all good, Kaloy. And if you have to sleep in, you can always catch me later. Watch me at 1.5 speed. If you're not watching me live, it'll make the stream go by very fast. 2.5 hours where we're at right now. Milbester saying, I will say the key to Blue Jays beating the Dodgers is the Dodgers bullpen. It's a bit weak, but they got an upcoming rookie, Japanese phenom, and Roki Sasaki, who came from Japan this year. Watch out for him. Yeah, it's cool to see pitchers who just came in like have such success. Like this Yes Savage guy, it's amazing his year and where he's gotten to like this. So when they say stats like he's only had 6 starts and 4 of them are in the postseason, I'm like, what? They're putting this guy out there on the mound to start and he's killing it. That's amazing, man. What a story of a year of going from single A all the way up to the World Series like this for that guy. Wow. Randy, yes, Savage, Macho Man, let's go. All right, let's keep going. My best saying it'll be a good World Series. We got what we wanted. MLB wins with Canada ratings and Japan ratings. Watching Otani, DR with Vlad Jr. too. Yeah, and Americans hopefully will watch it too. Hopefully. Kareem saying, Lex, do the Da Da song I was talking about. Oh, Da Da Da. That song. That one you mean? Like it was in like a phone commercial for a while? There was also the do 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 do, and there's always something to remind me. Roy Scott, something to remind me. Is that the song? Do 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 do. I think that might be it. That might be it. I know, or is it da da da? There's 2 of them there. See, I can't get it exactly. We need musical notes in the treble clef. If you put it on a musical score, I could do it in tune. And with the beats and the rhythm, I am musically genius. Yes, I am. I can read that music. Chloe saying, I am happy for all the day one J fans. Let's celebrate this before heading to battle to Super Otani, where we're super underdogs. My brother is a day one Jays fan, literally, because he was born the day the Jays started. His birthday is the first Blue Jays game ever in 1977. And that's pretty cool. So, yeah, the Blue Jays are as old as my brother. They're the same age. Literally the same day and same age. It's crazy, man. Yeah, he's a day one. He's like the original day one Blue Jays fan because he was born the day they were born. It's crazy. Isaac saying Toronto Leafs fans are about to become twice as toxic for no rational reason. Vladdy's your daddy. Yeah, I don't know. Leafs fans, just kind of, do what you do, but maybe over in your own corner. But if you're over in our corner, the red corner, or if you're over in the Rogers Center corner with the Blue Jays, be on your best behavior and pause your cynicism, pause your negativity, pause your bullshit, and keep it to yourself. Because honestly, I would like to think that the Raptor Freak Nation and vicariously has sent a philosophical surge out of this channel of positivity and optimism for sports fans. And that part of the reason why the Blue Jays are enjoying success right now is we've allowed the ability to have room for success. Leaf fans ain't allowing that with their crazy ass mentality. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying this. Yes, Lex, I saw Russ called LeBron and AD were fake and unauthentic. Yeah. Yeah, we saw the toxic dumpster fire at that time around the Lakers when Russell was there. He was getting attacked by fans verbally, and also he had major problems with his teammates. Major problems. You know what's cool? And this is really awesome. Russell's on the Kings now, and he's with Dennis. Dennis and Russell are very good friends. In fact, I've heard Dennis Schroeder talk on his streams about Russell Westbrook and the respect he has for him. And it's crazy because it really is full circle. Those guys were on the Thunder together and early in Russell's career. And he's familiar with Dennis Schroeder. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how they work as the point guards for the Kings this year. So, it's an interesting fit. And plus, I wonder about Russell with DeMar. That's got to be a kind of an interesting locker room to sit in, the Kings locker room right now, with Westbrook, DeRozan, two guys from their eras that are just absolute monoliths, and two of the greatest players of their era. It's very interesting. Zach LaVine's in there too. Dunk champion Zach LaVine. It's very, very cool. Wayne Samuel Bester is our baseball analyst in our baseball channel, on our basketball channel. Big ups to Reggie. Go Blue Jays, go. LeBron is busy destroying his legacy with his rags to riches ego. Detachment from public figures is best. This is an interesting thing that was opined by Lou Williams. We talked about Lou Williams. He was part of the trivia today. And we know he's on podcasts these days with people like Michelle Beadle. Well, this is what Lou Williams said recently about LeBron. He's really mad at him for this Hennessy second decision thing. And this is his reasoning why. Lewis Williams is a father. He has kids. Even if he has two girlfriends, he does have kids. And he was thinking about it from a father's perspective. So what if LeBron comes out and he says, I'm going to have a big second decision and I'm going to make a big deal out of it, just like the South Beach decision. And, there's a lot of fans out there. There's a lot of young people that love LeBron and they want to know what his decision is. It's a really bad look that his decision was an announcement and an advertisement for alcohol. And Lou Williams is calling out LeBron for being a bad influence on kids by making a big show out of his stupid second decision publicity gimmick that he did recently. And he's saying it as a father, and he didn't think about what he's doing when it has to do with kids. What is the message here? Hey, kids, go get hooked on Hennessy. And while you're at it, go get FanDuel and get hooked on the betting too. Let's just make little addicts out of everybody. Hooked on Hennessy and fucking sports betting. Yeah, it's a bad look. And I agree with Lou Williams on this. I really do. I do agree with him. All right, let me go on my tabs and see what we got to run down with on our way out here. Yeah, there's a article on ESPN about their picks for the East, West, and NBA champions. Raptors are not mentioned in this article at all, which is not surprising. Get your fantasy team set up, as we said. Raptors Reddit reaction. Let's see what they're saying right here. Raptors want it all. There's Scotty at the baseball game, so joyous with the Blue Jays jersey on. And I'm telling you guys, this is the kind of energy that we want our guys to take in. Grady Dick yelling his mouth off. Crazy. Yeah, so cool. The Raptors new uniform dropped. Somebody's saying that Pirtle going full minion. No, that's not the Raptors new uniform. We're not doing that. No, we're not. Now, some people are making the connections between the Raptors in 2019 and the Blue Jays now on Raptors Reddit, and they like the chances. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Ooh, yeah. There's Will Smith on Raptors Reddit. That's weird, man. I don't get it. All right. Anyway, that's enough there. Some people are calling CMB Combo as his nickname now. Do you guys like Combo as his nickname? CMB Combo? I don't know. That's not that bad. It could be pretty good. Karthika is reporting this morning, just an hour ago on our Blue Skies, that there are 25 Canadians on opening night rosters for the NBA this season, and including Keyshawn George, who played for Canada at AmeriCup. So you guys want the list of the Canadians in the league right now? Nikel, who we'll see tomorrow, Atlanta. There's RJ Barrett, Chris Boucher of Boston, Dylan Brooks, who recently got an elbow to the eye and got some stitches over his eye. He won't say which teammate nailed him in the eye, but yeah, Dylan Brooks got a nice shiner from Phoenix practice recently. Brandon Clark is in Memphis still. Lou Getz, of course. Zach Edey of Memphis also. Keyshawn George, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Caleb Houston is in Atlanta. We'll see him tomorrow. Friend of Scotty Barnes. AJ Lawson's on this list. Benedict Mathurin. Emmanuel and Leonard Miller, both of the Miller brothers are on rosters to start the season out of Scarborough. Jamal Murray, of course. Ryan Nebhard with Andrew Nebhard. Ryan is on Dallas. Of course, Andrew with Pacers. Kelly Olynyk and Spurs now. Dwight Powell in Dallas. Omax is on Memphis Grizzlies this year. Will Riley, we saw him in preseason for the Washington Wizards. Jackson Rowe on Golden State Warriors. Shaedon Sharpe, Portland Trail Blazers. Jamil Telford is on the Clippers, and Andrew Wiggins on the Miami Heat. And that is it right there for the 25 Canadians on rosters for the NBA this year. Johnny Davis, happy birthday, former assistant coach of the Raptors. Johnny Davis is 70 years old today. Johnny Davis was an assistant coach for our team in 2011 to 2013. Of course, Johnny Davis played in the NBA. In his rookie season, he was on the Portland Trail Blazers championship team in 1976-77 with Bill Walton and Maurice Lucas. So, yeah, that was Jeff Petrie. Yeah, that championship team in Rip City. Happy birthday to Johnny Davis. Blazers champion and a former assistant coach on the Raptors in the 2010s. Yeah. All right, let's see. What else do I got? I got a card to do. Got a classic card to do, and we're going to get out of here soon. Yeah, thank you for the blessing, Slug Deezy. I appreciate that. All right, let's do this. And, yeah, we're over 2.5 hours. We got to get done. They're going to rip up my yard today. So, okay, yeah, we'll do this card. All right, this is the first one I pulled, and we were just talking about this team, so why not? Here's a Trailblazer. It's an easy card. You should get it quick. Full name answer for the classic card today, and we'll be out. It's very easy. Of course, we've seen this guy in the preseason on the Wizards. That's right. CJ McCollum, Slug Deezy's on it. It's only a 50-point card. But, yeah, Slug Deezy getting the classic card, that is something that happens. All right, let's see. Anything else you guys want to talk about real quick? Blue Jays or Raptors? Get it in now because I'm going to sign off very, very shortly. All right, let's see. CJ McCollum, and it's Slug Deezy, and it's 50 points for this one. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, we'll do the rundown in just a sec. You remember Johnny Davis? Yeah, Johnny Davis was an interesting coach. He was the head coach of the Magic, the Sixers, and what other team? There were 3 teams he ended up being a head coach for. Memphis. And he didn't win a lot as a head coach. He won a third of his games, 1 out of 3 games. But, yeah, he spent most of his time coaching Orlando. He was the head coach of the Orlando Magic from 2003 to 2005. So you might remember there. Yeah, and he was only the interim coach for the Memphis Grizzlies for 2 games after they fired somebody. It might have been Hubie Brown, actually, that they fired then. Yeah, he played for the Sixers for a long time in his career also. Yeah, you weren't on live. You didn't see the card in time. Oh, it is what it is. W Stream fam, have a blessed day. All right, y'all, I'll add up the totals for our trivia. Today's trivia was on season openers and wins that the Raptors had won. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about the Raptors season openers history and what we've seen in the past in different games. 33,000 people were at the very first Raptors game ever at the Sky Dome for the Raptors versus the New Jersey Nets when we defeated them in our first ever game ever in the history of the NBA. And that was a fantastic day, a day that still is just awesome. And the fact that it is a lot of good memories are shared in Rogers Center. Raptors memories, Blue Jays memories. And I went to WrestleMania at the Rogers Center and saw The Rock fight Hulk Hogan. So it's like, man, there's a lot of good memories in that building. And, well, we want to see World Series memories once again in that building, just like we did in the 90s when that building was very brand new. The Sky Dome was very brand new when we won those 2 World Series. Well, we're still in that building. It's time to get the 3rd one. Go on then, Blue Jays. You go on the World Series, that means you win, because every time you go on the World Series, I believe you won. So we need to be perfect 3-0. That's right. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody watching me today. I'm sorry I was a little ornery. Maybe a little I messed up the beginning of the stream because the audio wasn't right. I appreciate everybody sticking with me and coming back and being around on this one. All right, guys. Tomorrow we're getting into it. We're going to the season. Atlanta Hawks will be there tomorrow night in Atlanta playing the Raptors. Will be playing them, and I'll have the preview tomorrow. The latest lineup news. I'll have the keys to the victory, the win, the path, and get the victory and get the win for the Raptors, and the ref report. All that kind of stuff tomorrow on the morning show, 9:30 a.m. You know I'll be here, and I'm excited, man. I can't wait for Raptors basketball back. And oh man, let's go Blue Jays! This is awesome. This is so awesome. Thank you for what you're doing this season. In some ways, I am so happy that y'all are doing this because it really is some good buzz energy for our city in a sports way. And hopefully we'll get a little bit of that translated to our team, the Raptors also. The players are there and they're enjoying it. Well, that's a good thing. I see Scotty getting hyped. And seriously, young Raptors, you see how this city gets going for winning teams. And well, the Raptors are very much getting a lot of energy towards them when they get really successful. So build that success with Brandon Ingram, and you guys will get that kind of energy around y'all this year too. I believe you will. I believe you will, because you will be going to the playoffs this year. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Blue Jays. Let's go Tempo. Let's go Leafs. Let's go Toronto FC. Let's go Argos. Let's go Toronto Rock. Let's go all y'all's teams, all communities, all across the GTA, whatever you play. How about that? Let's go. Raptorize your day. Get out, touch grass before they tear it up out in my yard. Let's go Blue Jays. Let's go Raptors. Let's